Today's podcast is brought to you by Visa. With the capacity to process over 65,000 transaction messages every second, Visa has been bringing innovations to the way we pay for over 60 years. Imagine a world where instead of just tapping to pay with your Visa, you had to wait for everyone in front of you to cut a check everywhere you went. Imagine how much fun it'd be trying to track down your cousin in Milwaukee for league dues. That's why Visa's vision is to be the best way to pay and be paid everywhere, so you won't have to. Whatever your goals are, Visa makes paying fast and easy. The only thing left to figure out is, where would you like to be? Visa, everywhere you want to be. Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Good morning.
So today, I guarantee victory over Shannon Sharpe. How about that?
I bet you'll be backtracking by the end of the day.
I will not.
Seriously?
I bet you'll be backtracking by
I guarantee it. Because I guarantee it every day, and then I just do it.
You guaranteed a victory on Sunday against the Jets.
I
what
did
happened?
not guarantee it. You did. You said it would be by 14 or more points, said the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe. Wrong again.
Jenny, you missed to have some hot ale served up.
Yeah, just a few. We've got a packed show today, maybe a few more. Will the Eagles upset the Cowboys and take first place in the NFC East? We'll go there. And is it too soon to compare Patrick Mahomes to all-time greats? But first, we will start with what we saw last night. The Packers beat the Lions last night to advance to 5-1 and stay on top of a crowded NFC North division. Detroit led early in the fourth quarter, but two questionable calls extended drives for the Packers. This allowed Green Bay to complete the comeback, defeating the Lions 23-22 on a Mason Crosby walk-off field goal. And after the game, Rodgers was asked if he thinks the Packers caught breaks with the officiating and said, quote, "I think it equals out pretty good over the years." So, Shannon, over the years, did those calls cost the Lions the game?
No, those calls did not cost the Detroit Lions a victory. It was their inability to get the ball in the end zone. Skip, they kicked 5 field goals. T.J. Hawkinson dropped a touchdown pass. Did they not have a
hard catch, but he didn't hold on.
Skip, he high pointed the ball. He had the ball and he landed and it popped out. Did they not have a 13-point lead? So they had that, right? Okay. Instead of kicking field goals, you punch the ball into the end zone.
Okay.
If they get one more touchdown, instead of kicking a field goal, they win this ball game.
Good point.
But give the Packers defense credit. They were able to keep them out of the end zone, hang around long enough, and when you got that guy up in Lambeau, where's number 12, the most gifted thrower of the football that we've ever laid eyes on.
Really? Huh.
Yes.
Interesting.
You need to stop, Skip.
I haven't started
yet.
yet.
He has not started.
Look, throughout the course of the game, there are going to be calls that are missed, calls that are made. I don't think the call on Geronimo Allison should have been helmet to helmet, Skip. The guy's going for the pick. And the helmets collide. I mean, what do you expect them to do? Not go for the pick, just go over the top? Well, I really can get this interception, but they're going to call me for, helmet to helmet if I... No, you don't do that, Skip. Rodgers was great. He overcame some huge... No, those are drops. You see that drop, Skip, on the 1-yard line where the ball pops up out of... That is a drop.
Yep.
Not throwing behind the guy and it caroms off his hand. Those aren't drops. That was a drop. So let me get this straight. He's playing without Devontae Adams, and then midway through the third quarter, Geronimo Allison goes down. Now, I know a guy that his number one guy went out on Sunday, and he assaulted himself after that, but that's neither here nor there anymore. I brought that up, Jenny. He's doing it with a guy that he went and lobbied to play in the game with. He says, can this guy play? I know he's on the practice squad a couple of weeks ago, but can I get him in the game? Get him in the game and make him a hero. That's what those guys can do. See, he doesn't need a number one receiver, throwing the ball to Mercedes Lewis, throwing the ball to Valdez Scanlon, throwing the ball to Lazard. Yeah, that's his name, Lazard. That's what he does, Skip. The great ones can do that. The great ones can take average guys and make them look phenomenal. They don't always necessarily have to have top flight guys to make them look good. See, Aaron Rodgers is good without makeup. Your guy needs makeup, and lots of it. He needs Zeke. He needs offensive line. He needs Amari. He needs Gallup. my guy is beautiful without makeup. Your guy not. So that's why they won.
How did this get to be about Dak Prescott?
I don't know.
Did I call Dak's name? I did not call Dak's name. I'm saying my guy, which is Aaron Rodgers, looked beautiful last night, and that was a virtuoso.
Really?
Again, falling behind by 13.
Makeup free.
I saw a whole different game.
This is what happens when your guy falls behind, he loses.
Really?
That guy falls behind, he wins. The end.
By the way, I'm going to get to this in just a moment, but Alan Lazard is not just some guy. Trust me, he's not.
Oh, he's not just. Hold on.
I'm going to explain to you in just a minute just how good he can be.
Fair.
But you brought this up. I wasn't going to start here, but I'll start here.
What'd you
So
say?
Aaron Rodgers last night was so great. He had a QBR of 42 on a scale of 0 to 100. That's 8 points below average. He was 42. He now ranks 16th in the National Football League at a total of 53 average for all of his 6 games. They're 5-1, but his QBR is 53. My guy leads the league. Dak Prescott leads the league, and he had a 74 on Sunday. Aaron had a 42 last night. I don't know. So you brought it up, and I finished it. Thank you very much.
If I
can
give
get
you or
to my
Jerry Jones
point?
the choice,
Yep.
you can have Aaron Rodgers or Dak Prescott. Who do you think, Jerry?
I think he, for the long haul from here on, because Aaron's starting to look a little long in the tooth to me.
You ought to be
He
ashamed of
would
yourself,
take
Skip.
Dak Prescott.
You ought to be ashamed.
I'm not ashamed because I thought the refs beat the Detroit Lions last night more than Aaron Rodgers beat the Detroit Lions.
Really?
Yes. I think at least the refs helped cost Detroit that game. And you know what? This was yet another national stage embarrassment for the National Football League. And I'm just getting tired of it because I love this game. I love this league. I've covered this league for a long, long time, and it goes deep in my heart. I can't wait for NFL Sundays. I can't wait for Mondays and Thursdays. And I can wait to have to sit through what happened in the second half last night to the Detroit Lions. And I'm going to tell my quick story again about Jerry Jones. I used to argue with him constantly about this phenomenon that he called human frailty among referees. And his point was, it's just part of the game, and it actually helps our game because the occasional bad call creates controversy and day after conversation and ultimately even more interest in our great game of football. Jerry, I don't want to have to sit here on Tuesday morning and talk about bad calls instead of great plays. I would much rather talk about great plays. And frankly, Jerry, I'd rather be talking about the Cowboys winning football games than losing, but that's a whole nother issue.
Good luck with that anytime soon.
Okay, so what did we see last night? We saw gross incompetence throughout the second half versus the Detroit Lions. And I felt sorry for him, and I can't defend Matt Stafford. His QBR was 38 last night because he got off to a hot start, and then he just quickly sort of disappeared in that game. And they go 3 for 13 on third downs, to your point, and they wind up with 5 field goals, and you're going to have a hard time winning, even though they won the turnover battle 3-0. How many times does the home team lose 3-0 in the turnovers and win the game? It's rare, but it happened last night, and the refs had a whole lot to do with it.
Stop.
Can we go to the first play that you brought up, the only play that you brought up that was a bad call, and it was the first play of the second half, Aaron Rodgers to Geronimo, and what happens? Tracy Walker happens, and he goes for the football, and you're exactly right. I don't know how he's just trying to get the football. He's trying to intercept or disrupt the pass.
Right.
And he was furious after the game, and he said, I felt like I went for the ball, and it just so happened we collided. Okay, well, is that fair to say? They just so happened they had a little helmet to helmet. And Geronimo, God bless him, he got hurt. But Tracy Walker said, I was looking for the ball. It was an awful call by them.
Yeah.
Well, it was a 15-yard penalty that helped set up a drive that led to the tying field goal. So there's 3 right there that it helped anyway. Now let's go to play number 2, which was the first of the illegal hands to the face. So this is, it's a 22-13 game. It's 3rd and 10 from the 45, and Aaron Rodgers is sacked on this play, if we could see it, by Trey Flowers. He's sacked. And this is going to really change the game. And illegal hands to the face. I don't see it. No, he hit him up in the shoulder pads.
You got a shoulder pad.
Yeah, but it's a sack. It's a sack. Aaron Rodgers goes down, and they are going to have to punt the football. And instead, what happened 3 plays later? He throws it to Al Lazard, and it was a really sweet throw. And Aaron made some throws in the fourth quarter that were the best throws I've seen him make in a long, long time. Those were flashbacks of the great old Aaron Rodgers instead of just the old Aaron Rodgers.
Fair.
But that's a horrendous call at that point because it really changes the game because it gives Green Bay 7 points, right? And then let's get to play number 3. This might have been the most egregious play of all. This is 2nd and 6 at the 41 with 7:08 left in the game. And it's a deep pass. Here we go to Marvin Jones. And the kid, Will Redmond, cuts in, and this is blatant interference. That's just like grabbing him across the front of him and yanking him out of the way of the football. It's blatant pass interference, and now we've gone so far overboard on the pass interference rule that they're just not calling it anymore.
Exactly.
They just don't call it. And so the DBs are starting to think, wait a second, I can get away with murder because they won't call anything now.
You see plays more egregious than that every Sunday.
Okay, well, that was an egregious one because that sets up Detroit 1st and 10 at the 20. You don't think Matt Prater makes that field goal? If not, they score a touchdown?
But they score a touchdown. He probably kick a field goal.
Okay, so you probably kick a field goal, but that would put you up 5 with, let's say, 6 minutes to go, and it's a whole different tilt to the game because now you got to go get a touchdown, Aaron. You don't get to...
Aaron would have got it.
Okay, well, yeah, you can say that now. Now we get to the final play. And this is 3rd and 4 at the 16. And Aaron throws it incomplete. Remember, he had a QBR of only 42 in the game. But again, Trey Flowers, poor Trey Flowers, he gets it again. And it kind of looks at first glance like hand to the face, but it's hand to the top of the shoulder pads. It's just wrong. It's a phantom hand to the face. It's up into the top of the pads, but not touching neck or face. Okay, so it's egregiously wrong again on Trey Flowers. So what did that prove? What did that serve at that point? Okay, so what it would have been is you're going to have to go ahead and kick a fairly makeable short field goal of 37 yards. Okay, would he have made that, Mason Cross? I used to call him Crossbar. Today I'll call him Cross B from last night because he had a good night. He made his 3. But would he have made that? Yes. But guess what? There'd been a minute and a half left in the game, and Matt Stafford, who has had some comebacks on his resume, you would have given him a minute and a half to get the ball actually down to the Green Bay 37. That would have been a 34-yard field goal by Crosby. But the point is, could he get you to the 37? Because Matt Prater can make it from 55, right?
Easy.
Okay. So would they have had a last-second kick potentially to win the game at Lambeau? Maybe. Okay, so I just gave you 4 plays that went completely wrong against Detroit that gave Green Bay points or took away points from Detroit.
Well, I mean, those are plays that you just highlighted, but I'm sure if I were to go pull, I'm sure I can find plays that happened throughout the course of the game that Green Bay was interfered with or that Green Bay was wrong and the official missed the call.
I didn't see any egregious plays against Green Bay. Well, I didn't.
But Skip, just because they're not egregious does not mean they're not fouls.
Okay.
They don't base it on the
but these are outrageous that you can't miss these. A good crew doesn't miss those 4 plays.
Yes.
No, you don't. I just gave you blatant. Yes. I gave you gross negligence on all 4 of them.
Well, Detroit could have made this a moot topic if they punched the ball into the end zone.
All right, but they didn't, and the game was sitting on hair trigger in the fourth quarter, and that's what happened.
And Rodgers took it over.
Okay, and yet he took over the post game with his narrative. This is my guy. Alan Lazard is my guy. He's my new best friend. He sits next to me in the meetings. So how do I know Alan Lazard? Because for 4 straight years, I had to deal with him as a University of Oklahoma fan when he played at Iowa State. I don't know if Jenny did any of these games, but Alan Lazard was hellacious good. And how he went undrafted, I don't know, because he's 6'5", 230, and he ran 4.55 at the Combine, and he annihilated OU every year. Every year he would get a bunch of catches. I could give you all the catches that he had. One year is 5 for 51, then 8 for 101, 6 for 76. But the key game was, in 2017, they were a 31-point underdog. And how they were with David Montgomery and Hakeem Butler and Alan Lazard on their team, all these guys are going to be really good NFL players. They go in as a 31-point underdog to Norman, Oklahoma against Baker Mayfield. And guess what happened? They won 38-31 because Al Lazard caught a 25-yard touchdown pass with 2 minutes left to win the game. Biggest upset to me, I came in the next Monday. You won't remember this, but I told you it was the worst upset in Norman in the history of the great Oklahoma program against Lincoln Riley and Baker Mayfield. And that guy did it. So how that guy didn't get drafted, then he bounced to a couple teams, then Green Bay at the end of camp this year cut him, and he passed all the way through waivers, and they said, okay, we'll take him back on the practice squad. Then they had injury, and they said, let's activate him.
Crazy.
Okay, so then Aaron had to make it all about him. I found him.
Oh, my goodness. There you go.
And then it was all about me wanting him on the field. I went over and I told our young coach, I want him on the field. I want him. Yeah.
Let me do this.
And then Aaron went so far as to say that the kid came to him after one play and campaigned. Would Aaron let any other receiver, Geronimo or even Devontae, would any of those guys get to campaign for, I got him on this route. I want this route on third down.
That's what a good listener does. That's what leaders do. Leaders take advice, get input. So what you thinking about this?
That's what showmen do after the game.
Oh, my goodness.
That's when the quarterback is all about me. Listen to what I did.
Skip.
We didn't really need the head coach. And then he said the head coach on the key third down play that went for 35 yards and a touchdown, he gave us an option of this play or that play. And I said, no, I'm going to run this play to Allen because we got this.
Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't about the young head coach. It was about me.
It never is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Way to go.
It never is.
Aaron.
Instead of congratulating.
I told you he made two or three throws that were the best I've seen him make in a long time.
Instead of you giving Aaron his flowers now, what do you want to do? You try to pile on the man's grave. You try to, he made it all about himself.
Saying he's in his grave already?
No. All I'm saying is that he went to the receivers coach and he says, can I have him? I need him now. I'm down Devontae. I'm down.
He's my new best friend. He sits by me in the meetings.
Really? Hey, remind me of me and Elway.
Really?
We started,
But Al Lazard's like the 9th receiver on the roster.
I don't think that was ever you.
That should tell you. That's what he did with the 9th guy on the roster. Your guy, minus Amari Cooper, what'd he do? Nothing. Couldn't even get a tub. Couldn't get a tub.
He brought him back from 21 to 3 down.
How many touchdowns did he throw?
Well, he ran for a huge one that almost tied the game.
He a running back? He a running back?
Yeah, he's really good.
No, quarterback, I want him to throw it.
Yeah.
Throw it.
He had the 7th best QBR of anybody who played in a pro football game in week 6. You like that?
Skip, look. There are some throws that Aaron Rodgers made, that one to Scantling to start the fourth quarter.
I thought it was sensational.
And Scantling does a great job. He knows he insides release, but he knows he has a landmark. Normally it's 42-4. I got to be 42 yards down the field, 4 yards from the sideline.
Wow.
And he does a great job of what we call stacking the DB. He gets in front of him, puts him in a trail position. Aaron Rodgers drops it out of the sky. Thing came from a drone.
Yep.
He dropped it out of the sky in a drone. You know, drones deliver packages now.
Yeah.
Amazon brought one to my house the other day, dropped it out, caught it. Yep.
In your backyard?
That's how Aaron Rodgers dropped that ball. Don't worry about it. Stop telling people.
You want Amazon to know where you live.
They know where I live. They dropped that. Look at this. Look at this, Skip.
You probably have drone defense above your house, right? Do you have like drone radar?
Skip, look at this here. This is what we call dropping the bucket.
Yeah.
42-4.
Yeah. That's one of 2 balls that Scantling caught last night.
That's all we need.
2. That's all you need.
That's all we need.
Really?
Yep.
How do you explain he had a QBR of only 42?
Well, all them drops. Did they
How do you explain that Aaron Rodgers went 1 of 4 in the red zone last night?
Skip. What about those drops?
Dak is better
Let me ask you a question. Did Jimmy Graham drop a touchdown? You saw Jimmy Graham drop that touchdown.
He did.
You saw that young man bobble the ball that led to a pick going the other way.
He bobbled it because his feet went completely out from under him and it hit him in the face mask.
What they got to do with me? What they got to do with me? Beat him up, ball. Aaron Rodgers, what you want Aaron Rodgers to hand it to him? He can't throw it any better?
That was the same kid that Aaron Rodgers failed to see break wide open in the end zone at the end of the Eagles game.
That's why he dropped it anyway.
Yeah.
He'd have dropped it anyway.
You think so?
That's why, Skip, there's a reason why they put more cleats in the front of your shoe than the back. Stay off your heels and he wouldn't have slipped.
Yeah. So Aaron's IQ, his football IQ, is so high that he computed on the final throw against the Eagles. Let's see. The kid is open, wide open over in the flat in the end zone. Nobody went with him because the Eagles blow the coverage, and 2 go with Scantling. So I don't want to throw it to him because he'll drop it. So I'll force the ball in here to Valdez-Scantling, who's only like a half yard beyond the line of scrimmage already, and they're from like the 2.
Skip is only second down, and they had another timeout.
I'm going to force it into him, and the ball's going to get tipped up and intercepted, right?
Whatever.
Okay, I love that play.
First of all,
that's
look,
really brilliant.
All I know is Green Bay is 5-1, and they went to Dallas and beat your team.
They did.
So
came down to an onside.
They didn't come down to anything.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not, Skip. Skip, why you can't just give the man credit?
I did. I said he threw the ball in the fourth quarter the best I've seen him throw it in a long, long time.
So in the first 3 quarters, he was just bull jiving.
Well, I don't know. He just looked like the same old game manager type guy. You know, the guy whose stats have fallen each of the last 4 years and who right now ranks 16th in the league. How many teams are there? 32. So maybe that's right in the middle of QBR.
I guarantee
16th
you.
in QBR.
You know, the Dallas Morning News, I think they had a poll where they polled fans, and 89% of them say they think Jason Garrett should be fired. I bet if you poll those same fans and ask them, would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or Dak Prescott? How many of those fans said I'd rather have Aaron Rodgers than Dak Prescott? I bet you it'd be 98%.
For next Sunday or for the next 5 years?
I'm saying for the next 5 years.
Oh, it'd be all Dak Prescott all the time.
You ought to be ashamed.
Well, he's played Aaron 4 times now, and his QBR is still better than Aaron's
and how many,
4 games.
And every time he keeps coming to my restaurant getting these flaming hot ales. As a matter of fact, they're on the menu now, Jenny, as the Cowboys special. Flaming hot ales, right off the grill.
Well, maybe if he could coach the team the way Aaron coaches his team, maybe that would help.
Hot ales, get them while they're hot. I don't give a D if you like them or not. Hot ales over here.
They've been popular on the menu.
They're very popular for the Cowboys. Last 3 weeks, I can't keep them.
How many times has Dak Prescott eaten in your restaurant since he started as the starting quarterback?
Oh, last 3 weeks, I can't keep him out.
Yeah.
I can't keep him out of the restaurant.
Last 3 years?
I mean,
How many times he's owned your restaurant?
He keep me. They're like the Popeye biscuit. That Popeye chicken and biscuit.
That's sold out.
That keep me out of the meals.
Yeah. Would you believe he's had his own booth at your restaurant over the last 3 years? Because nobody's won as many games except Tom Brady.
Where have been the last 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Who restaurant he come the last 3 weeks?
It's a long season.
Guess what? Guess where he'll be back next week, Skip.
Okay.
My restaurant, get that Cowboys special.
Guarantee that?
A flaming hot ale.
Guaranteed, says Shannon Sharpe?
Yep.
Eagles are guaranteed to beat the Cowboys, says Shannon Sharpe.
Yep.
Cowboys, are you listening? Because Cowboys need external motivation because we don't have a head coach.
Hold on.
We have him in face only, in clap only.
Hold on. Didn't the Eagles beat the Packers in Lambeau? The Packers got on a plane and went to Dallas and beat you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel comfortable.
Wait, didn't the Eagles just get torched by Kirk Cousins?
Woo! Yes, they did.
Whoa.
Not mad about it.
He gonna light y'all up too. He gonna light y'all up too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boy, he's 1-6 against us in his lifetime.
And
He's 0-4 against Dak Prescott.
Look at that.
Yikes.
They about to name AT&T Stadium after Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
Yeah, the Rodgers Center. That's what it's known as, the Rodgers Center.
Yeah, it's in Dallas, Texas, because he's got a hex over us.
He owns that.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Dak ought to give him a part of that contract.
Dak, but Dak's outplayed him.
No, he hasn't. Skip, stop saying that.
Well, his QBR, Dak's QBR is just better than Aaron's in all 4 games.
You want QBR, you want them 3 dubs.
Yeah. Well, he can't play safety, you know. I wish he could.
It looked like he can't play quarterback in the first half either.
Really?
You want to talk about that?
I think he's played really well. Just see
31-3, 21-3.
He's the comeback king. He's the new king of pro sports. Comeback king.
Skip, it's only a comeback if you win.
Oh.
It's not, they don't call it a comeback if you lose.
I have to say I agree with that one. But you're really going to guarantee an Eagles win?
Me and old Dougie P already
guaranteed
did.
you're not doing it.
Me and old
You're not
Dougie
showing me your guts. I need to hear it.
Dougie P and I already guaranteed an Eagles win.
Well, it feels like
you
it.
guarantee it.
Yes.
LeBron James spoke to the media yesterday for the first time since Daryl Morey's October 4th tweet made headlines. LeBron declined to comment about the politically tense situation in China right now, but did talk about how Morey's tweet has affected the relationship between China and the NBA, its owners, teams, and players.
I don't want to get into a word or sentence feud with Daryl. Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke, and so many people could have been harmed, not only financially but physically, emotionally, spiritually. So just be careful what we tweet and we say and what we do. Even though yes, we do have freedom of speech, but there can be a lot of negative that comes with that too.
Now, LeBron was immediately met with criticism and went on Twitter to add context to his comments and, quote, clear up the confusion, adding that he is not discussing the substance of the situation. So, Shannon, do you like that he said this?
I don't. And Skip, I would have thought the Daryl Morey tweet was 11 days old. And so LeBron James had 10 days to think about, contextualize, and come to how he want to verbalize his response, knowing, excuse me, that he was going to get asked this question. Mm-hmm. And what we didn't show is that LeBron says that you guys, you know me, follow my career, you know that normally when I speak on a topic, I'm informed, I'm educated. And that's how I approach it. Okay, he says he's not going to speak on this topic because he hadn't followed it that closely, so he's not informed, he's not educated. So if you're not informed and you're not educated, how do you get to call someone else uninformed, uneducated? Because for you to call someone that, you need to be educated on said topic.
As what he called the substance of it.
Right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For me, and I think where he got the blowback, the thing that separated LeBron James from Michael Jordan is that LeBron James would take a stance.
I agree.
And did not care about the financial impact. Mm-hmm. And then in this situation, he said it could impact financially, emotionally, physically.
Even went to spiritually, but go ahead.
That's where the pushback came from. Mm-hmm. They're like, hold on, wait a minute, Brian. You don't think when you took the stance about Trayvon Martin that someone stopped wearing LeBron shoes? You don't think when you got on stage with Hillary Clinton? Because if you think everybody that LeBron, you know, there are Republicans and people that like President Trump that bought LeBron James shoes. So anytime you take a stance, it's not going to be popular with everyone. But that didn't bother him. This situation seemed to have bothered him for some reason. We know the reason, Skip. We know that the financial, China spends a lot of money with the NBA. 10%, we're reading 10%, and they say the next 10 years it's going to go up to 20%. He mentioned he's gone to China 15, 20 times.
Yes.
Not only him, all the KD, Steph Curry, James Harden, Russ, all these guys are big international. They got over 1 billion people over there, 3 times the population of the U.S. So you can understand the influence that the favor that they curry with the NBA. But I don't like this, Skip. I don't like that. Yeah, anytime you say something, your words have consequences. But Daryl Morey, and I'm not, like I said, I'm, you know, what Daryl said about the democracy and China and Hong Kong, a lot of people don't know, and so I don't want to get into the minutiae up underneath this, Skip, but I disagree with LeBron said for this. If you're not informed on a topic and you're not educated on a topic, don't say someone else is uninformed or uneducated because you don't agree with what they said. Just say, hey, that's Daryl's stance. I don't agree with it. And keep it moving. But when you say he's uninformed, he's uneducated on a topic, and then says, you know, a lot of people, and hey, I don't believe, now it could happen, I don't think China wants, you know, you do something to the basketball team because we're already, you know, China and the U.S. is already going here. We got a trade war going on. We already think that they're intellectual property thieves. So the last thing that China wants to do is do something to some of our most important public figures, athletes, and have it blow up on a world stage. But I'm going to disagree with LeBron and Skip. I don't disagree with LeBron very often.
You don't.
But in this situation, I'm going to have to disagree, and I don't like what he said. I don't like the way he verbalized it. And he tried to clarify it, and I get what he's saying, but it didn't come out right. And I thought after 10 days, he'd have a better, he could have shaped it, framed it a lot better than what it came out.
Okay. For once, ironically, I see what LeBron's trying to accomplish with his statement and then his clarification tweet. And the problem here is everyone got thrown onto an incredibly slippery slope.
Correct.
And it's made of hypocrisy because anything you say, wait a second, you're speaking out of which side of your mouth on that issue, right? Okay. So to me, what LeBron was doing was speaking for a bunch of players, and this is the part I liked about it, who were so angry with Daryl Morey for tweeting what he did just ahead of their trip to China. Because LeBron's point was, you could have waited a week. Just wait until we're done to take your stand about Hong Kong. And he's trying to say, you made it so hard on us because you messed with our money.
Right.
Right? That's what happened. Bottom line, Daryl Morey sort of unwittingly, I don't think he was thinking, what could I wreak here?
Right.
What havoc could I wreak?
But Skip,
but he messed with LeBron's money and all the players' money. Am I right?
He did, but let me ask you a question. If he waits a week, if he waits a month, does he still not mess with the players' money?
Maybe long term, but they were upset because they got thrown into
They were going to have to answer
fire.
questions.
Yes, where they're saying we don't know enough.
Right.
And again, I certainly don't know enough. I don't know if you know enough to talk about the substance of what's going on Hong Kong versus China. I don't.
Yeah.
And LeBron saying I don't know enough, so I'm not going to take a stand on that. And the players were all offended that they got thrust into this position of having to comment on an issue they don't understand.
Right.
That doesn't affect their day-to-day life, right? So LeBron is speaking not only for a lot of the players who wanted him punished. They wanted him punished. I don't know if that'd be suspension without pay, whatever. Hurt him where he lives, right? But LeBron might have even had the blessing of the commissioner on this one,
right?
Because he's trying to mend a fence. He's trying to say, as the greatest player we have today, the guy, the most visible, the most popular player we have today, he's trying to send a message back to China. Hey, one of our own messed up here. He was, however you want to say it, he was not educated enough. He was misinformed.
Right.
And we're sorry about this, China. It's not our fault. It's his fault.
Right.
Okay, that's what he's trying to send the message.
But let's not pretend we do know what's going on in China.
Okay.
Without getting into the details, we understand that.
Okay, fine.
But like you said, Skip, you're talking out both sides of your mouth now.
Okay. So now we had Tillman Fertitta, the owner of the Rockets, immediately condemned the tweet, which was deleted, but it was up long enough.
It's too late. It's gone. Screenshot it.
But he condemned it to the point that he said, we're not a political organization, the Houston Rockets. Well, how about the Spurs? How about the Warriors? Are they political organizations? Because their head coaches have
very strong stances.
They have heavily criticized the President of the United States. Freedom of speech. And again, Adam Silver says our league is built on freedom of speech. I'm great with that, but there are ramifications to all of this.
For that.
So now let's take it back to what the NFL went through with Colin Kaepernick. I was 1,000% behind the spirit of his protest, the reason for his protest. But initially, a bunch of the owners are like, is he going to mess with our money?
Yes.
Because he's choosing not to stand for the national anthem. And maybe some of our sponsors, if not our fans and our viewers, will take that personally.
Right.
You don't love the United States of America because they won't get the spirit of the protest, the actual meaning of the protest. So remember, that was the initial pushback was, you're messing with our money now. We get, they don't even want to know about the issue because they don't really care about the issue because it doesn't really involve them.
That is
You made that point 1,000 times.
Correct.
Now, Colin was messing with his own money because he was risking a lot, and we saw what he lost, right?
And that's the thing, Skip. When you speak, when you words freedom of speech or you have a protest, Colin Kaepernick had the right to protest.
Absolutely.
But you have to understand the ramifications that come along with your protest.
Consequences.
And what? Subsequently, he's been whiteballed. So you have to understand, Daryl Morey, whatever your owner, Fertitta Tillman, decides to do with you, you must understand.
Consequence.
Whatever the NBA, if they decide to punish you, you must understand.
Agreed.
Those are ramifications that come along with that.
Okay. So did the ratings or did some sponsors back out? Did it hurt the NFL's money? Originally, 2016, 2017. It was never conclusively proven to me that it really hurt, but there was a lot of fear of it. The ratings did dip a little bit, but I'm not so sure it had...
1 or 2 games and then...
Okay. So again, I'm not sure that actually had that impact that was feared.
Right.
But I get the fear because every time you do speak out, and now we got Popovich, Steve Kerr speaking out against the president. Well, is it messing with the NBA's money? Have some sponsors gotten a little queasy about that?
Right.
Maybe. Okay. So there are
fans.
Okay, some fans. Some.
I mean, everybody that goes to San Antonio games are not liberal or independent or Democrats. or everybody that lives in
It's a
California.
pretty conservative area.
In Texas, you think they normally vote red.
Yeah.
In California, don't think just because you live in California, everything is blue, because it's not.
It's not.
Yes.
Okay, it's not. So, yet in the end, it's ironic again that I appreciate LeBron's just trying to mend a fence here for everybody's sake. And I'm not sure it's going to be successful because LeBron can be very outspoken.
Yes.
And sometimes I think he messes with his own money because he takes some stands that some people are not going to like, who are not going to buy his shoes or his products that he endorses.
And that was my point, Skip, is I think LeBron should know full well with the stances that he's taken on a lot of issues. Yeah. It's kind of like when, he takes a stand against police brutality. If somebody say, LeBron, you're not informed, you're uneducated, you're like, come on, bro. I mean, really? But he says topics that he normally talks about, he's very passionate about.
Yep.
Well, because he says, I'm not read up on this, I'm not versed in this, not to say that he's not concerned about what's going on over there. It's just that, Skip, I haven't read up on this. I don't know. I'm getting ready to start a season. My mind, my grind is somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And so I totally get that. I just think the only problem that I got with what he said was that he said Daryl Morey was uninformed and uneducated. It's hard for you to say that just because you're not doesn't mean someone else is.
Okay. And by the way, just in the big picture, Daryl Morey, who I've been around a little bit, he's a very smart guy.
Yes.
Now, again, did he take a stance that hurt the league for which he works and the players that who are playing for the Houston Rockets and others? Yes.
Skip, I don't think he thought about them going over there. It's hard for me to believe that he doesn't know what China means to the NBA. I don't think he thought, well, you know what, Lakers and Brooklyn Nets about to head to China, let me send this. I don't think he thought that far, but he had to know the relationship that China has with the NBA.
I would think
it's hard for me to believe that he didn't know. And Skip.
I mean, it's possible he would know a lot more than LeBron would know about
Yes, and he also knows that China is state-run, and so that changes the dynamic.
Yep.
You can't say things about that like you can the USA because democracy versus the other side.
Yeah.
So, lesson learned.
Okay.
People expect
Hopefully.
to hear from LeBron, which is a blessing and a curse for
Yes,
him. Because
it is.
people do want to always hear
And they
what
hang
he
on
has to say.
They hang on every word, and they're looking for him.
It is hard for him.
And you
in that
turn on
moment.
social media, and even in the USA Today, they're crushing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
No matter
crushing him.
what, people are listening.
But
to
You know
he has
what?
to
In
say.
the end, I still appreciate the stands that he takes.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah,
I appreciate
absolutely.
how outspoken he has been. Right or wrong, good, bad, pro, con, however you view it.
Yeah.
He will take a stand
Yes.
and he will speak for the players he feels
Yes.
that were damaged
Yes.
in this.
The thing that you can honestly say about him, Skip, nothing he says, for me, I don't ever think is malicious.
No?
I think everything he says
I agree.
comes from a good place.
I would agree.
No mercy.
Just when you thought the Cowboys-Eagles rivalry couldn't get any more intense, well, Doug Peterson added some fuel to that fire yesterday. The two teams meet this Sunday night in Dallas with first place in the NFC East on the line. And in a morning radio appearance, Peterson seemed to guarantee a win for his squad.
All we got to do is try to be 1-0 this week, beat the Dallas Cowboys. We're in first place. And listen, they're reeling too. I mean, they're struggling too. They've dropped their last 3 games. So we're going down to Dallas, and our guys are going to be ready to play. And we're going to win that football game. And when we do, we're in first place in the NFC East. We control our own destiny. We're right where we need to be.
All right, and then a few hours later, Peterson clarified that he wasn't guaranteeing a win, but that he doesn't regret giving that impression. So, Shannon, do you like Peterson's explanation?
No, go ahead and stick with what you said. You said you're going down to Dallas, you're going to get this win. Your team's going to be ready to play. Got no problem with that. I love what my coach, Brian Billick, was notorious for writing checks that his team, the Baltimore Ravens, we had to cash.
Yep.
Got no problem with that, Skip. No problem whatsoever, because now he's already put it out there. It's bulletin board material. I know they're going to tack it up on the board and they're going to walk by and see what Brian had said. And that team is going to be ready to play. So we knew we had to be on our best behavior, or as we say, our worst behavior, because we was going to meet fire with fire. Jeff Fisher once says we're coming to the game with a 2x4. Well, we're going to build a house with your asses. That's what we're going to do with them 2x4s. Yeah. So you come ready to play. We're going to be ready to play too. I like it. Dougie P guaranteed to win, and I'm backing him up. So you be ready.
So you're saying he did guarantee a win?
Guaranteed it.
Quote from Doug prediction yesterday. Never said guarantee a win. I'd never do that. That was in his backtrack.
Yeah.
Guaranteed it.
Never said guarantee a win. Huh. Yet I just heard him say, we're going to go down there and win the football game.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said.
So that sounds like guarantee.
Yeah, that's what he gonna do. Yeah.
Guarantee-ish.
What he supposed to say? Are we going to go down there and lose?
Well, his point to the reporters later was, I want to show support of my football team. I want to show I have confidence in my football team.
That's right.
He was angry with the tone of questions on the WIP interview, the radio interview on which he first spoke. And he said, yeah, the sky's falling outside, but we're going to go down there, we're going to win the football game, because I do believe he thinks they're going to go down there and kick the Cowboys behind.
Yep.
Because he says we're both reeling football teams, but my team, the Dallas Cowboys, they're really reeling because they've lost 3 in a row. And I think he's seen enough game tape so far to say, that's a dysfunctional group, man. They're completely overrated. They don't believe in their coach. So what I told you yesterday as we reacted on the fly to this on the show when we first heard about it was, I'm just hoping that my players use him to motivate them the way their head coach is incapable of motivating them. And unfortunately, so far, at least publicly, it has not worked. And did you see Jason Garrett's response?
What did he say?
I did. I was hoping you'd bring this up, Skip.
What did he say?
Jason Garrett says, my response is, we're excited about the challenge. Obviously, they're a great football team, and we're going to focus on ourselves and what we need to do to prepare to play our best football on Sunday night, said Coach Clapp.
I liked that Garrett voice. That was a good Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett.
That was well done.
Don't you,
Big Red, as you call him.
don't you want him to be true to himself?
That's who he is.
Okay.
So there are a bunch of player quotes in USA Today, and none of them were very good because they were taken on Coach Clapp's personality. And even Michael Gallup said, if you need a coach or anybody else to fire you up, I don't think you really should be playing in the first place.
Yeah, see, that's not what he said.
Okay.
For me, I'm not looking for anybody to fire me up, said Michael Gallup, who said, I had 3 balls go right through my fingers Sunday at Jets. That's what he said. And he did. 2 of them were just flat out cold drops, and the other one was catchable but not a drop. He just should have caught it because it hit him on the fingertips. So at least he's focusing on the correct thing.
Right.
But I need to know deep down if those players don't realize their manhood just got challenged in their house. Because he's telling you, we're better than you, and we're going to come in there and kick you right in your golden tails. That's what he's saying.
He ain't lie.
Yeah, okay, well, fine. I'm glad, because I tell you every year, my team has to win in spite of my head coach. He knows the X's and O's just fine. He's a solid football-minded football coach. I get that. But when it comes to motivating, he is the worst I've ever seen in all my years covering pro football that dates back to covering the Rams in Los Angeles in the 1970s. And that was Chuck Knox. Do you remember Chuck Knox? And he was kind of a zero personality, but he had a little fire. Ground Chuck. And they just ran the ball, ran it, and they ran most of the fans right out of the stands because the Coliseum would be half full for teams that won the division every year after year after year.
They did.
Didn't usually go anywhere in the playoffs till finally they broke
79.
through. Yeah, they finally broke through with Jack Youngblood and Vince Ferragamo. But the point is, that was after Chuck Knox was gone. But Chuck Knox had fur in his belly, and I just don't sense any in Jason Garrett. So what happens every year? What happened last year? They had, what did I tell you? I told you, Jenny, this last week. I said, I don't care if they lose to the Jets. And you said, I don't think you
I know you said that.
I did, because I need motivation. I need external. You're not going to get internal. You need external events to light your fire. So what happened last year? They fell to 3-5 because what happened on Monday Night Football, Tennessee at Jerry World? It was the all-time humiliation for the Cowboys. They got destroyed by Marcus Mariota. What happened the next week? They went to Philly quietly. They kind of snuck in the back door, right, of stadium in Philly, Link, and they won. And they took off. External motivation, because they finally just said, you know what? We're embarrassed. We're going to do this ourselves. Watch this. We're going to go show you we can play.
So, Jason is Skip. He's not a fire and brimstone type of guy. Do you want him to show?
You can't be something you're not,
right?
Because it'll be fake.
Right. So you want him to show footage of guys going over the wall. You want him to show war movies. What do you want him to do? How do you want him to motivate this team?
I don't, because he's incapable. I don't even want him to try. Some guy, Jimmy Johnson was as great a motivator as I've ever been around. The players walked in fear of him because you saw what Dougie Prediction did yesterday with Zach Brown.
Yeah.
I think he blames Zach. I know he hasn't been playing the level they expected because he's a talented guy, man, Zach Brown. But again, I think Dougie Prediction took it personally that he took a shot at Kirk Cousins because it looked like it motivated Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Now, Cousins said after the game, I tuned it all out. I don't even know what you're talking about. Do you buy that?
No.
Probably not. He probably knew a little bit. Did Kirk play maybe his best game of his career? Probably.
Finally.
Right? Finally. No, he did. Finally.
Good.
He just threw the heck out of it. Was it out of watch this motivation for Zach Brown? Maybe. And so Dougie P just whacked him.
Right.
And that's what Jimmy would have done. Right. Okay, you're gone.
Right.
You know, whoever it is, you're gone. Right. And what did Jimmy Johnson do? It was actually 2 days before the NFC Championship game following the 1993 season. It was San Francisco at Dallas. Mm-hmm. For all the marbles, go to the Super Bowl, which was going to be played in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. What did he do? Called a radio show and said, I guarantee we're going to win the game. He called a radio show, put it in big, bold headlines on the front page of the Dallas Morning News. I guarantee it.
Yes.
And Nate Newton told me after the game, he wrote a big old check we had to cash.
That's it.
Okay? But that team was really, really good.
And that was the thing. When I was in Baltimore, Skip, Brian says, I don't care what you guys say. He said, just know we got to go back it up on Sunday.
Yep.
So you say whatever you want to say. You get into a bar with whomever on the opposing team. Just know we got to cash these checks on Sunday. Okay. My coach says we're going to win this game. We got to cash that check on Sunday.
Okay. Are the current Philadelphia Eagles as good as the 1993 Dallas Cowboys?
No,
Not.
Yeah, nah.
Is this like a 50-50 game?
Yes.
And the spread's Cowboys -3 for home field. We're going to discuss that spread in just a few minutes on this show. But it's even Steven. It's a level playing field.
Right.
So now I'm about to find out what my team is really made of.
Right.
Their manhood got questioned. Mm-hmm. I'm coming in there and kicking you right in front of all your fans and on national television on Sunday night.
I can't think in all my years, 14 years, I've ever heard a coach or a player says, we're going to Mile High, we're coming to Baltimore, and we're going to win.
Mm-mm. Just doesn't happen. This is the ultimate disrespect for the Dallas Cowboys.
Though.
And you know what? I will give you this. I think he believes, heart and soul, they're going to go do this.
Yeah.
And he wants his team to believe it as strongly as he believes it.
I believe it too.
Okay? Well, good.
This guy's
good for you.
all in.
Well, we'll find out because I still believe my team's a little better than your team, just a little better. But they have to play up to that.
I got a feeling on Sunday somebody will be tweeting, missing left tackle, missing right tackle, no Amari, but I'm proud of my team.
Okay, I didn't tweet that I was proud of my team after the Jets game. I did not tweet that.
No.
You're putting words
I didn't see that one.
in my tweets.
Oh, how about this one? Dak battle back. He's a warrior. So proud of my quarterback.
Okay, I might do that. Okay, if my two tackles are out and Amari's out, you got me.
No.
I got no shot.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just declare it up
No, you
front.
ain't need to declare nothing.
Yeah.
So we already got
then
cases.
it's not a fair fight.
We already, what?
We don't have cases on this game.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I feel like
do
you guys
not. We
made
have
this
none.
bet in the summer.
First of all, Skip, it's called a fight.
Yeah.
When do you ever know a fight to be fair? We're fighting.
A lot of fights are fair, unless you bring a knife.
If I'm fighting, I'm biting, I'm kicking,
Okay.
I'm punching,
Well, that's
I'm
fair.
kneeing.
Okay,
It's
that's
called
fine.
a fight.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a football fight.
Yes.
And I got one arm tied behind my back if I don't have two star tackles and one of the best receivers in the league and the one my quarterback trusts.
Skip, I mean, everybody goes through that.
I might be without my two starting cornerbacks. Well, then I got no shot. Then I concede. I will concede on Friday. I will. I'll just say, you got it. It's yours.
I don't want
Take it. You can have it.
I don't want it.
I'll buy you one Diet Mountain Dew, and you won't drink it anyway because you don't even like it.
No. I just don't want you to tweet. As long as you don't tweet after the game that Dak battled back, even though he caught the L.
How do you know what I tweet?
Because I know everything.
Do you follow me?
I'm omniscient. I'm omnipotent.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Oh.
Somebody creeps on my tweet.
Ain't nobody creeping. Oh, Dak's a warrior. So proud of him. Oh,
I did not say that.
He led a QBR.
that he did
What about that
say
QBR?
that.
Did you not tweet QBR?
Well, he does lead the whole league.
QBR may have been brought up occasionally.
No mercy.
So Tom Brady has been doing this whole football thing for a while now. He's in year 20 of his NFL career. And last week against the Giants, Brady finished with an interception and 2 rushing touchdowns. But he also passed Peyton Manning in career passing yards and career passing attempts. So when Bill Belichick gave him the game ball, Brady said it was a nice surprise.
That was very nice. That was very, very kind. I would say unexpected, but certainly appreciated. You know, it's pretty cool. I never imagined playing 20 years in the NFL, and Peyton was a guy that I looked up to because he was so spectacular in every way. And, you know, Brett Favre is the same.
Shannon, are you surprised Brady got the game ball?
No, because it was a historic moment. I mean, there's no, that's a big feat to pass Peyton Manning.
Sure.
Anytime you pass Peyton Manning on a list, because we know how long Peyton played, I think 17 years, and how great he was for the majority of that time. And to say I have more passing yards, more passing attempts, more completions than Peyton Manning, I think it's something to be, nothing to sneeze at. And so I think, and Coach Belichick, back in basically a lifer. He's been in professional football in some capacity for 45 years. Oof. And so he understands the history of the game of football, Skip. And so Coach Belichick, understanding the history of the game, says, you know what? Tom, you deserve the game ball. Because he damn sure didn't get it for the game that he played. Not with that pick, not with that scoop and score, that strip sack fumble that he gave up, then he skipped Bayless. So he gave...
Is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn just yet. Yeah, but look, when you play as long as Tom Brady has and you're as accomplished as he is, Coach Belichick probably could give him a game ball every week. But I think for this moment, it probably had a little bit more significance. And like Tom says, it doesn't happen often. Coach Belichick does strike me as the guy that gives out game balls after every game. Although they won a bunch of games, he doesn't strike me as a guy that just hands these things. If you get a game ball from Bill Belichick, you better believe you damn well earned it. And I think Tom Brady, and Tom spoke of this, it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Well, you said, I can't remember the last time I got a game ball.
Exactly. So that lets you know the magnitude. And I think that's one of the things, Skip. You want it to be special when you get a game ball. That was a very special occasion to pass Peyton Manning and move into second on the all-time career passing list. And so that was a special moment. So I'm not surprised, given Coach Belichick's knowledge and understanding of history of the National Football League.
Completely disagree. You missed the point once again. This was not about passing Peyton Manning to go number 2 on the list. Bill Belichick does not do number 2. Bill Belichick does not do milestones. Bill Belichick gives game balls for what just happened in the football game. And he had just given, if you go back and look at the speech, you can see it on Patriots.com. He had just lauded the offense for overcoming such severe adversity on an extremely windy night in which they got decimated with injuries. They lost Josh Gordon. They didn't have Philip Dorsett already. Obviously, they don't have Gronk. They don't have AB. They don't have N'Keal Harry. And he applauded and lauded the whole offense for hanging in the whole second half of a close game in which they were stuck playing the same personnel group the entire second half. And Brady said, I can't remember that ever happening in my entire career. They were stuck with 11 personnel. As you know, it's just 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 receivers. And the point is that it was winds gusting 35 to 40 miles an hour.
Oh, my goodness.
It was Tom Brady having to throw to 2 undrafted free agent rookies named Gunnar Olszewski and Jacoby Myers, and to a 7th-round draft pick of a year ago out of Florida State named Ryan Izzo as the tight end. You're throwing to those 3, and you're facing as high a degree of difficulty as you will ever face in a home game, and you go 31 of 41 for 334, excuse me, and in a 1-score game in the 4th quarter, you complete 6 of 7 for almost 100 yards, clutch again, and pulled that game out of the fire against a team that has a history and a legacy of upsetting you in Super Bowls.
Yeah, well, they had really good players. Okay. You need to stop.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that's what happened. If you go back and listen to his speech, he went out of his way to laud the whole offense, starting with Josh McDaniels, for figuring that out.
So if you don't mind me asking, so did anybody else on the offense get a game ball?
No, the quarterback did.
Okay, then.
Okay, so what's your point? That is the point.
My point is, I got a few game balls in my life. I can't ever remember getting a game ball where I fumbled, they got a scoop and score. I had the ball, carry them off my hands. They get an interception. I catch for 100 yards. We win the game, and Mike Shanahan gave me the game ball. I've never had that happen in all my years, and I got a bunch of game balls.
Huh. Was John Elway still throwing you the football?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then your degree of difficulty was very low.
Yeah.
Right? You got a top 5 quarterback throwing you the football, right?
Hold on. You say he the GOAT.
Yeah, he is the GOAT.
So if he the GOAT.
Okay, so I give you this. He didn't see the looping pass rusher, and he got strip sacked for a scoop and score. I give you that.
Okay, what about
And
that pick?
The interception was wind blown. It was so wind blown, it was blown 15 yards off course. And you saw Daniel Jones attempting to throw with and against that same wind, and it was ugly to watch. It was a hard night to throw the
Daniel
football.
Jones, really?
Okay.
We compared him to Tom Brady.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, you saw what the other quarterback was doing.
I saw what he did.
I told you they should have started Eli in that game. They would have had a much better chance.
No, they wouldn't. Stop it.
But the point is, you gave him a flat-out F for his performance when he threw for 334, throwing to Gunner. He's throwing to Gunner. You believe in this?
You see the guy that won. You see the guy that made the big catches last night?
Yeah.
Was a practice squad guy, Lazard.
I told you he was a star at
Oh, now he was a star.
Well, he caught the winning TD pass against Baker Mayfield at the University of. It's the greatest upset ever pulled off. 31-point underdog.
I can assure you, Skip, those guys that he's throwing to were stars wherever they were.
Well, I don't know about Gunner. It was such a small college.
But he was a star at Bemidji State or
Bemidji. How do you say it?
Bemidji.
Bemidji. See, there you go. I told you.
I used to go there for my summers growing up.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And it's like 100 miles north or?
Yeah, it's about 4 hours north of the
Maybe
cities. I went to
200
hockey
miles.
camp up there.
There you go.
Bemidji
So,
State. I knew that'd come in hand.
If you're a star there, it's not all that big.
Hey.
But so he was probably the BMOC at Bemidji State.
Okay. Wow. And they beat who? I don't know.
Can't tell you.
I think they had a good football team.
I'm sure
Skip.
they did.
Those teams up there, they get you up in that cold and beat the brakes off you.
Jacoby Myers, former quarterback at North Carolina State, and you're throwing it to him.
Okay.
For that matter, you're throwing to a former 7th-round quarterback out of Kent, right?
Yeah. And had
Edmonds.
if I'm not mistaken, the last Super Bowl MVP was a what, Skip? Former 7th-round quarterback from Kent State.
Yeah, the guy I say belongs in the Hall of Fame right alongside you at some point.
Oh, Lord.
But he was playing with cracked ribs that night and probably shouldn't have been playing, but he did because Tom needed him. He's got nothing else to throw to. So it was one of the all-time efforts by Tom Brady, given the degree of difficulty it was. I gave him an A-, you gave him an F, and Bill Belichick gave him a game ball.
Yeah, for what he done.
A game ball.
A symbolic gesture of what he's done.
Yeah.
Not for that performance.
And you know what? It was a thawing of the ice that exists between the glacial ice between Brady and Belichick. I thought it was a big deal.
Oh, you thought so?
I thought it was a stop the presses. Yeah.
That's what you wanted to be.
No, I don't want. I don't think it's going to last. But again, on one night he said, "I got to give it up." But he doesn't do. You pass Peyton Manning. If he passed Drew Brees, maybe. But that's not going to happen for a while.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, he didn't have anybody to throw to. But,
and I don't mean gonna get 3,000 more yards.
How's he gotten this team to 6-0? I don't know.
He makes it look easy.
Hold on, Skip. You need to stop.
Yeah.
Stop with this. Who have they beaten?
Buffalo. At Buffalo. That's a big win.
Hold up. How many? You just said they got to 6-0. Did they beat Buffalo 6 times?
No, they beat Buffalo.
And they beat who else?
Well,
Miami. Who else? Washington. Who else?
Giants.
The Jets. Who else? The Giants. Who else?
Yeah.
Giants got 1 win. Come on, Skip. You need to stop playing.
Well, you say he's washed up and well
Oh,
over
my
the hill.
goodness. My goodness.
How many game balls did you get, Shannon?
He
Give or
knows
take.
exactly. He's
I know. You know these numbers. You don't
do the
forget.
humble brag. I got 6.
No, 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I got about 6 in 1 year. I mean,
in 1 year.
6. Probably about 15.
Yep. He knows
impressive.
exactly.
In Denver.
Because they're lined
Bad,
up on his
Shannon.
mantle.
I was
No, they're
picturing
the box.
them all.
They go
in a
flat.
box?
They're the box.
We got to put those on display.
Well, I ain't in Atlanta.
Okay, fine. Bring them to your dressing room, just
You know, I might do
morning
that.
reminders. All right.
Nah, you don't skip out. I'll just put that stuff out.
I might see him on eBay.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay, the Packers beat the Lions last night to advance to 5-1 and stay on top of a crowded NFC North division. Detroit led early in the fourth quarter, but 2 questionable calls extended drives for the Packers. This allowed Green Bay to complete the comeback, defeating the Lions 23-22 on a Mason Crosby walk-off field goal. And after the game, Rodgers was asked if he thinks the Packers caught a break with the officiating and said, quote, "I think it equals out pretty good over the years." We're now joined by former All-Pro cornerback Antonio Cromartie. Good to have you with us today. Antonio, how much do you think the refs had to do with the outcome of this game?
I say 50% of it.
Wow.
And the only reason I say that is because Detroit has so many chances to take over this game. They did not take over the game. They kicked field goals. And playing against Aaron Rodgers is just like playing against Tom Brady. You gotta score touchdowns versus them. If you don't, you're gonna lose the game. You don't ever want to put the ball or the game in a rough hand. And that's exactly what happened last night.
Wait, you just put Aaron Rodgers in the same sentence with Tom Brady?
I sure did.
How? I mean, maybe 10 years ago, or I
Here
don't know.
we
We're
go.
talking about now.
Here we go. Are we?
He's missed the playoffs the last 2 years.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Here you go, Skip. Come on now.
Well, come on.
You put Dak Prescott in the
Keep it
same
real.
conversation.
I do not.
Yes, you do.
You put him
Tom
in.
Brady.
You said what he said. He's Brady-esque.
Brady-esque.
Brady, yes.
Okay, well, that's not in the same conversation.
Oh my gosh!
plays
But like
the way
I
Brady
said,
plays.
the game should have never been in the rough hands.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's on Detroit not scoring points. You never want to put the ball or the game in the ref's hand, and don't leave it enough time up there for Aaron Rodgers to go out down there and
So
score.
you don't really give the game 50% on the refs, right? You actually are more on the Lions.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Because you still don't want to put it in the ref's hands. I mean, you got to go in and score points. They was in the red zone 4 times last night inside the 15-yard line, then score points. So when you have that, you got to be able to score in the red zone. You want 7 points, not 3 points.
Aaron Rodgers went 1 for 4 in the red zone last night.
And they still won.
All right, by 1 point.
But he got the touch.
But
He got it when it matters, Skip
Oh,
Bayless.
yeah.
That's all. That's all when it matters. You know that,
Okay.
Skip. Come on now.
Go.
Actually,
Come
he
on,
did not. Skip. Actually, he did not. Because hold on, didn't Aaron? What was that? Williams scored, and then he threw a touchdown to Lazard.
Lazard.
That
got-
wasn't in the red zone.
But I'm just saying they dropped that dime.
But it was after the penalty though.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I agree with Crow, and this is what I told Skip early on, is that kicking 5 field goals cost Detroit more than the officials cost them. Hawkinson dropped the touchdown. The guy had a chance to hold on to the ball for a first that would have got him a first down. He dropped it. They ended up selling for a field goal. Skip, and that's the thing. You never, especially when you're on the road, you win the turnover battle 3-0. And the guy fumbled the ball, at like the 15-yard line, and they kick a field goal. You got to score. You get 2 touchdowns, you win the game. But you didn't, and you let them hang around, Give the Packers defense credit. To their credit, they kept them out of the end zone because that game could have got away from them.
Could have.
They
I'll
did.
buy
They
that.
did to the Lions what they couldn't do to Philly because they got up on Philly 14-0, and they let Philly storm back and win that ball game. This time around, they got down 13-0. They said, like, okay, you're not getting in the end zone anymore. And you're going to settle for field goals until Aaron figures this thing out. He figured it out. So, no. When you go on the road, you win the turnover battle, you win time up. Hey, you better put some TDs on the board because those guys are too good. Because eventually they'll figure you out. They'll find a way to beat you, and that's what the really good ones can do. There's only a handful of those guys, and I know a guy that roots for a team that does not have one of them.
Oh, okay, here we go again. That's all you got anymore. Yeah.
Just throw that in.
All you had to do was get a 2-point conversion, and you could have went to overtime. Did you get it?
Was that not passive?
No, it
interference?
wasn't.
Once again, egregious on the part of the referees.
Wow.
And my bottom line takeaway from last night's Monday night football game was the refs did even more damage to Detroit than Aaron Rodgers did. Even more.
What?
And you know what? I'm sick and tired of this happening. You guys have lived with this your whole lives. My whole life of covering this game longer than you even played. It's way too often about blunders, blown calls. Just egregious. It's gross negligence on the part of the officials. And I don't get it because in the end, I believe, because Jerry Jones used to tell me this, that the league actually loves this. They love the controversy. They love that these words are coming out of my mouth right now because they think it creates more interest.
Because we're talking about it.
Yeah. And Jerry Jones is all about the shield and the brand, and all he cares about is the bottom line. Do we put butts in the seats, and do people turn on our games? You better believe they do. And he thinks this fuels the interest of the National Football League because we have to talk about blown calls. To me, last night was an embarrassment because when you're the greatest league in our country and you make billions of dollars, how can you not put quality officials on the field to referee the game?
They are quality. They make mistakes. It's a human error.
Okay, can we see how many mistakes they made last night? Let's just quickly run through them and see what it cost the Detroit Lions. First play of the second half, Aaron Rodgers throws it to Geronimo over middle. And Tracy Walker, you'll be able to appreciate this, makes a really good play on the football.
Yes.
Here he is right here. He's just playing. He's close to picking this ball off. He's real close, and he is going for the football. I don't even think there's any helmet-to-helmet there.
He caught him a little bit. He clipped him.
Yeah, he caught him.
I don't know. And poor Geronimo, God bless him. I hope he's all right. I'm knocking on wood for him. I don't think there's any helmet-to-helmet. I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry.
He caught him right in his face.
How do you coach this? I mean, he might have nicked him there.
Yeah.
How do you teach, what do you tell him he did wrong on the play?
He didn't do anything wrong.
He did nothing wrong.
Okay, all right. And he got 15 yards. And guess
But they
what?
didn't score, though.
Yeah, they did. They went
didn't
right
score that
down and
goal.
got the field goal to
They
tie
got
it
a field
13
goal.
and all. Okay, 13 all. You gave them 3 points. That play helped give them 3 points. Now we get to the first Trey Flowers play, and this is with 7 minutes to go in the game. I'm sorry, 8 minutes to go, 10 minutes.
10 minutes
You're
to
right.
go.
And this is such a big play because it's going to set the tone for what's about to happen. They sack Aaron Rodgers, and this is a big defensive push by Detroit. And Trey Flowers gets called for his first phantom hands to the face penalty. And I don't know, he grabbed up around the top, around the neck line, but he didn't hit him in the neck. And it's a sack, man. They're going to have to punt. And what transpired 3 plays after this? He throws it to Alan Lazard for a touchdown, 35 yards, and here we go. Yep. So that costs them a touchdown. Boom, like that. Is that a horrendously bad call? Yeah, it is. So let's go to play number 3, which is 2nd and 6 of the Detroit 41. This is 7 minutes to go in the game, and Matt Stafford had gone pretty quiet in the second half, but this is a really sweet throw to what's his name? Marvin Jones Jr. Marvin Jones Jr. here, and the kid Redmond, he just fouls him. He just gets there way early and just slaps him across the front of his jersey, and it's gross, blatant pass interference, and he just yanked him down. They're going to have it 1st and 10 at the 20. Can they at least get 3 out of that one?
They're not going to call that.
Okay. You don't think they're going to call that?
No.
You're speaking like an ex-DB now.
They're not going to call that.
Assault and battery?
He didn't pull him down. He actually just swiped the head of him and played through his hands.
Swiped him across the front. He yanked him backwards.
No.
Yeah.
He was already going backwards. He was already going backwards. That's not pass interference.
They're not going to call that?
I got an offensive guy agreeing with me now.
Oh, stop it.
But I told him that.
You're both just disagreeing with me.
No.
But Skip, you see the way they're calling it now. They're letting these guys get away with stuff.
You know what? If I were a DB coach, I'd just say go after them. Go harder than ever because they're not throwing flags.
Why didn't review? Why didn't do the pass interference review?
Yeah.
I think they're to the point where they're
exactly.
thinking
you know what I'm saying?
It doesn't work anymore. Like
exactly.
it's useless. It's a wasting of your time out.
They just did it to appease Sean Payton, Miss Benson, the New Orleans Saints owner. Skip. They're going to do away with the rule after this season, and it'll be no more.
Really
okay. So again, 1st and 10 at the 20. If you just get a little field goal out of it, you're up 5 with, let's say, 6 minutes to go, and it tilts the playing field
Aaron
back
go
in
get
your
a
favor.
touchdown.
Okay, well, he might have, but he didn't need a touchdown,
Nope.
right? And then we get to the most egregious call of all. It's the last one on Trey Flowers, 3rd and 4 at the 16. Aaron throws an incompletion, and it's going to leave you with a 34-yard field goal. And again, would Mason Crosby have made? Yes, he almost certainly would have made that. But it would have left 1 minute and 30 on the clock. And maybe Matt Stafford, who does have some legacy of comebacks, maybe he completes a couple of balls and they get a 55-yard field goal because Matt Prater there it is, another phantom hands to the face. He's got him up around the top of his pads.
But Bakhtiari does a great job of selling it. He snaps his head back, so it makes it look like you got him up on his face.
Great acting class.
But nobody ever accused Trey Flowers of being a dirty player. And he gets two hands to the face within 10 minutes of the fourth quarter.
Right,
I just showed you 4 plays that either gave Green Bay points or cost Detroit points in a close game.
It's really only 3. Skip, you can't count that phantom pass interference. Yeah. Come on, Skip. Yeah.
That's
not pass interference.
That's like, once upon a time, 4 flags flying. Seriously.
But Detroit could have made all those penalties moot points. if you get touchdowns instead of field goals. Hawkinson holds on to the ball. Now that's what? That's 17. That's 17-0 as opposed to 13-0.
Okay, but how do you go into Lambeau and win the turnover battle 3-0 and lose the game?
You don't score.
The referees
You kick,
had a lot
you kick field goals instead of
Okay.
score touchdowns. That's how you do it.
All right, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't exactly lighting it up last night.
All them drops, Skip. You saw Jimmy Graham drop a touchdown.
Yeah.
You saw that.
Jones dropped a touchdown.
Jones dropped.
Also weird.
Well, his QBR in the night was 42, which is below 0 to 100.
So let me ask you a
it's
question.
below 50.
Was that pick his fault?
Nope, was not his fault.
Okay.
But I can't really stick it to the kid either because the kid's feet came completely out from under him and he lost his balance and it hits him in the face mask. And Aaron got, for once at Lambeau Field, a bad break because it popped straight up in the air.
Well, yeah, that was an interception that shouldn't go on our resume.
It should
But
not.
there's a reason why
I will agree with that.
there's
Just
a
like
reason
Dak
why you
deserves
have
one of
more
his last
cleats
4.
in the front of your shoe
Yeah.
than in the back. Keep your weight over your knee and over your feet.
Really?
Yeah, instead of skating into the route.
More
That's-
cleats. That's
That's
interesting.
the same
Thought about
rookie
that.
from North Dakota State who played with Carson Wentz at North Dakota State.
What they got to do with anything?
Aaron Rodgers
Oh,
failed
my
to see
goodness.
break wide open in the end zone at the end of the Eagles game. Wide open. Aaron, just underhand it to him and you win the game. But no, he says, I think I'm going to force it to Valdez-Scantling because the Eagles blow the coverage and 2 guys runs with Valdez-Scantling. 2 guys. And he forces it in, the ball gets popped up, picked, ball game.
Well, your guy,
Way to go.
Skip, your guy forces it all the time.
That's Aaron Rodgers that you put in the same sentence with Tom Brady,
Yeah.
and I was afraid lightning was going to strike us.
You know what?
You're the
We're
same
okay,
person that
still.
put Dak Prescott, who's a very average quarterback.
Very average quarterback who's leading the whole league in QBR this year.
So you're happy about QBR, but he's 0-3 in the last 3 games.
Okay. We'll see if that changes Sunday.
Oh,
It won't. 0-4.
Are you guaranteeing?
0-4, yes.
Are you guaranteeing?
You guarantee and you
I'm
guarantee.
guaranteeing.
Cowboys, are you listening?
I'm
A lot of guarantees
Calling
around
out your
here.
manhood. They say you have an average quarterback and you're a sorry football team. Say both.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
All right, so Antonio guarantees, Shannon guarantees.
You already know they come to my restaurant.
Yeah.
Get that Cowboy special.
Really?
We've been
Serving
repeat
them up.
visitors lately.
We serving them up. I might have 2 of them in my hand.
You think the Cowboys are coming to your
Oh, yeah,
restaurant?
that Cowboy special.
You know what? The Cowboys are a little too good for your
No, they're not.
restaurant.
They love it.
They consider it kind of on the
I
wrong
know,
side
I'm
of the
laughing.
mountain. You know,
You
it's,
can't, hey, Shannon, what you
live
say?
uptown.
You can't spell Dallas without L's, huh?
But now, Katie, back to back.
that's clever. That's original.
No mercy.
I want to hear what Reggie Bush has to say about this one. Thank you for joining us
Yeah.
today. Now, if you were in that Eagles locker room and you heard your head coach this confident about your next game, how would you react? How should the players react?
I would love it. I would love the fact that he went out and said that. Now, actually, I wish more coaches would do that for the sake of the game because this game is about competition, right? The only issue I have with it is that he walked it back. Like, stand by your words and know that your team is going to go out there and cash those checks, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Once you say that, now the team has to know, hey, it's on us because now our coach has said this. It's a divisional game. It's a familiar opponent. I think he was genuinely pissed off that they just got embarrassed by the Minnesota Vikings.
They did.
The secondary got ate alive by Kirk Cousins and Thielen and Diggs. And so they have to understand that now it's on the players. Now it's on us to go out and get this win. But with that said, I will say this, and Sharpe, I know you can back me up on this. Sometimes those teams who've lost 3 games in a row are some of the hardest teams to beat in football because now they're desperate, right? And they're desperate for a
Especially
win.
if they're really a good team that's desperate.
Well,
It remains to be seen if y'all good or not.
But listen, both fan bases don't like each other. Teams don't like each other. So I love the fact that Doug Peterson is saying this because he is saying, I got confidence in my team. I want to motivate them. And so now let's go do it. Now let's go do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Come on, guaranteed,
He-
Shannon.
He stepped out and did something your guy won't do.
That is correct.
Your guy said, oh, this is a tough team. We know what the Eagles represent. They're a world-class organization, got great talented players. I don't want to hear all that BS. We go come put foots in you. That's what we said.
Okay.
I remember in the divisional game when we played the Titans, I was in Baltimore, and they had this, remember the Titans had just come out. And remember, I wanted to get them another yard. And everything that we had said in the locker room leading up to all the games we had played, because we had played them twice. They beat us at our place, we had beaten them at their place. And so everything we had said leading up to those games and what was written in the newspaper, they had it played on the Jumbotron, Skip, as a montage. So we're on the sideline, and the NFL I said, whatever they say we said it, and they can't do you know what about it.
I was there that day, and when I got on the elevator that morning in one of those hotels downtown Nashville, a bunch of your guys got on in camouflage. They were going to quote-unquote war.
Yeah,
like
we said it.
Yeah.
We already
Of course,
knew.
I didn't see you in the elevator because you probably stayed in your own hotel.
No. But the thing was, and Brian is like, that was one of the things that I love most about Brian Billick. He would say it knowing we had to cash it, but he says, guys, I don't care what you say. Just know.
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Shannon Sharpe.
We had J.O. too.
You can write biggest checks you want to write.
Hey,
Come on.
Well, he said, well, I got Fletcher Cox, and I got a walking tour.
Really?
I got Alshon.
Yeah.
Probably going to have D. Jack back.
What happened with all those guys last year?
Oh, yeah.
You lost twice.
We ain't going to lose twice.
Dallas Cowboys.
Turnabout's fair play.
Yep.
Y'all taking the L. 4 in a row, Skip.
Where's the game at?
Dallas.
Night game.
Somebody's not guaranteeing over here.
I guarantee to win when they play my Saints because I knew my Saints was going to come through. But this is a little.
You still claim the Saints?
Of course.
Okay.
What do you mean? We won a Super Bowl down there.
I know. I didn't know you kind of went to some other places.
These Saints.
Super Bowl.
Okay. I got it. So I loved what Dougie Prediction said yesterday.
Dougie Prediction.
And I wish he hadn't walked it back because then he said later, never said guarantee a win. I'd never do that, said Dougie Prediction. So, again, that lost a little bit of momentum there in his locker room.
Stand by it.
And I needed it from my locker room because my head coach cannot motivate a wet paper bag. My coach is a wet paper bag. That's basically what he is, Coach Clapp. And my head coach needs external motivation. Every year, something bad has to happen to my team for it to take off. So it has to hit bottom the way it did on Monday Night Football last year against the Tennessee Titans. Speaking of Titans, at our place, Marcus Mariota carved us up, and we hit psychological bottom. And again, the coach is just going to clap after the game. Way to go, guys. You did a really good job. You gave it all your heart. You played with all your heart out there. Way to go. And our guys finally said, okay, that's enough of this. And they went to Philadelphia the next Sunday, and the roll started. And they go 8-2 down the stretch, win a playoff game. The roll now has to start this Sunday night thanks to Dougie Prediction because their manhood got called out.
Yeah, it did.
They know what he was saying originally. He spoke his heart on the radio.
It was from a genuine place.
Yes, it was genuine because he was mad at the questions. And he said, the sky's falling outside because they got cleaned out by Kirk Cousins.
They did.
This is the quarterback my team has owned. He's 1-6 against Cowboys lifetime, 0-4 against Dak Prescott.
They're going to beat y'all this year.
Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Yeah, we'll see. That game's also at Jerry World, so we will see.
But y'all like catching L's at home.
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
You don't got to go
we
far
like
to
winning playoff games at home because we beat Russell Wilson in a playoff game.
Unfortunately, you won't either what happened this year.
Okay, well, we'll see about that. But my guys got called out, and now we'll find out what my guys, put yourself in my locker room. If you heard that and you know, he's just saying, we're going to come in there and kick your golden tails, America's team. Watch this. Yeah? Okay, so how are you going to respond to that? Because I would like to think you're going to say, watch this.
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay?
And honestly, that's how I would take it. Anytime somebody opened up their mouth about our team, we took that to heart. We took it personal. And that's the way it should be. You should take it personal because, again, this game is about competition, right? And like I said, I wish more coaches, more players would be a little bit more outspoken about that because at the end of the day, on the field of battle is me and you. It's nobody else. Coaches on the sideline, fans in the stands. But while we between these white lines, it's me and you.
Okay. What set off Kirk Cousins? At home against Philly. Zach Brown. He said he's the weak link. I played with him, and he's just the weak link. And do I think Zach Brown believes that with all his heart?
Absolutely.
So you better believe he does.
Yeah.
He just got cut because Dougie Prediction is saying, you can't say that. You inspired him. You lit his fire.
Right.
And then he lit us up.
Right.
And so he's gone. But then Dougie P turns around the next moment, and he's the one guaranteeing a victory. Right?
I like it.
You're right.
I like it. I like my coach saying things like guarantees and insulting
and
things.
He wrote a book after he beat Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl called Fearless. Really?
He's fearless.
Okay.
We're going to see what that fearless is talking about.
Special.
It looks like.
He took down.
Yeah. He looked fearful to me twice against Dallas last
No, he didn't.
year. Yeah, he did.
Skip, that was last year. This is a whole different year.
Well, it is.
Hold
That's
up.
true.
Did the Eagles win a playoff game? And you told me they were Alshon a drop away from going to the championship game. That's what you told me.
Is that quarterback still there?
No, he hurt.
Yeah, he's in Jacksonville. Has your quarterback ever played one snap in a playoff game?
He will this year. We're going to play a bunch of them.
Really? A bunch of them. You want to put a bunch of dew on that?
Skip, I already got. What's my pick?
Huh?
Who's my pick going to the Super Bowl?
You got the Eagles.
Yep.
Yeah, the team that just lost, was it 38-20?
Your team just lost to the Jets. Your team just lost to the Jets.
Okay, but I still got New England in the Super Bowl, and you got Kansas City. So your team has lost 2 in a row at home. The team you say is going to win the Super Bowl just lost 2 straight at home. You like that? Says Kirk Cousins.
I was going to say.
My guy, hold on. My homeboy lost to Deshaun Watson. Your guy lost to Sam Darnold.
Okay. Well, the Eagles got to beat up on Luke Falk, who then got cut after the game.
Oh, my goodness.
They held Luke Falk to 6 points and 128 total yards, and they're still sorry on defense.
Yeah.
You're going to guarantee that defense?
You're going to find out. What about your defense? They gave up 338 to Sam Darnold.
Yeah, we're still top 10 defense statistically.
What about your D-line? You talk about, D-Law, Robert Quinn,
I don't even
Jalen Smith, the
I don't
Wolf
call
Hunter.
him D-Law. I call him Marcus Lawrence because there's no D in him.
What about the Wolf Hunter?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard. When the last time you heard his name called on defense?
He opens his mouth and nothing comes out.
Exactly.
Right?
Guaranteed, Skip.
Yeah.
Y'all be back at the restaurant again. I'm expecting you guys. Yep, I'm expecting you guys probably around 10-15.
Last week, the Hall of Famer guaranteed that the Cowboys would beat the Jets by more than 14. That's what he guaranteed. So, you're guaranteed.
I didn't expect your quarterback to lay an Easter egg.
Really?
The first half.
Oh, okay.
6 little measly points.
And he took a beating unlike any I've seen since Brett Favre in a game you played in.
He's been taking. You know what, Skip? He must be a stepchild or something because he's been taking a lot of beatings lately. He done took 3 of them.
Yeah.
He must have been bad. He been a bad child.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers put it to him.
Right back up and throw another completion.
Aaron Rodgers put it on him. Wop, wop, wop.
Yeah.
Wop, wop, wop. Okay.
Yep. And Sam Darnold gave it to him.
On that note, we will.
Tearing his little hiney up.
But Shannon, thank you for the demonstration. We really all needed to see it. Reggie, always a good
And
time
Teddy
to have you
Bridgewater
here.
say, give me
No
some of
more.
that.
We don't need any more of
No
these.
mercy.
The Packers beat the Lions last night to advance to 5-1 despite playing without Davante Adams and losing Geronimo Allison during the game. Aaron Rodgers completed passes to 9 different players, including his 35-yard gem to Allen Lazard. And after the game, former Super Bowl champ Booger McFarland said that throw is a perfect example of why Rodgers is worthy of being in the GOAT conversation. Some strong words there. So, Shannon, do you agree?
Absolutely. He's more than worthy. He's the most gifted. I think he and Dan Marino are the most gifted throwers, and I would give him a slight nod over Dan because the ball comes out of their hands so effortlessly, so easily, almost like they throw the football like a normal human breathes and walk. It's natural. You don't think about it. He can change arm platforms. There's not a throw that he can't make. Rolling left, rolling right, over the top. Skip, he has it all. He's the total package. So many things, though, Skip, in order for you to have success in a team sport, needs to go your way. He goes to another Super Bowl if the guy does his job on the hands team on the own side in Seattle. If the tight end blocks his guy, the ball hits Jordy Nelson, they go to the Super Bowl. Who knows what happens after that, but they go to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, in 19 years, had a top 10 defense 16 times. He's had a top 10 defense 13 of the last 14 years. So you need players, you need coaches, you need breaks sometimes for things to go your way. But Aaron Rodgers, the way he throws the football, the amount of games, he's won games. He's a 2-time league MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl MVP. Aaron Rodgers, the last time he had a top 10 scoring defense, he won the Super Bowl. Brady has that every year. He goes to the Super Bowl just about every year, and he normally gets there and he wins. So Rodgers is more than deserving to be in that conversation.
I'm ashamed we're doing this topic.
You shouldn't be ashamed.
You know? And I love Booger McFarland, and I think he does an excellent job on Monday Night Football. But when I heard him say this last night, it was LOL for me, literal LOL. You're going to put Aaron Rodgers in the GOAT conversation with Tom Brady or even with Joe Montana? I would put John Elway. You know John Elway.
I do.
I'd put him in. I'd put Peyton Manning in before I'd put Aaron Rodgers. I'd put Roger Staubach in the GOAT conversation before I would even think about Aaron Rodgers, because he went to one Super Bowl, and give you this, he did win it, and that was following the 2010 season. The calendar's pretty soon going to turn over to 2020. Let's see, that would be like 10 years. Really, that seems like ancient history to me. And if you take away that one magic carpet ride that he had, and it was 4-0 as the road wild card team, he sort of went Eli-esque. Road wild card. Remember, at Philly, at Atlanta, remember what happened?
Yep.
And if you take those 4 away, he's 5-7 in the postseason, and his 5 wins came over Joe Webb and Kirk Cousins. And there was the Dez catch game that he should not have won. And then there was the Odell boat trip game at Lambeau. Ugh. And then there was the Mason crossbar game at Jerry World. Okay? You barely survived that one thanks to 2 of the weirdest looking long distance intergalactic field goals I've ever seen. Those are your 5 wins against 7 losses. Aaron Rodgers' team missed the playoffs the last 2 years, and now we're going to put him in the GOAT conversation? I mean, his numbers have fallen each of the last 4 years in QBR and completion percentage. He's now 16th in QBR out of 32 teams. And in the end, I'll give you this. He is style over substance, because he's the most stylish thrower of the football I've ever seen. His footwork is often awful. Awful footwork, but he flings it sideways. He's got the Mahomes going. It's like, phew.
Yeah.
It's cool. He is the coolest thrower of the football I've ever seen. I give you all that.
So let me ask you a simple question. If Coach Belichick is his coach with the system, so Aaron Rodgers is in New England, does he have more than one Super Bowl?
There's no way Aaron Rodgers would have lasted more than 2 years with Bill Belichick. He just wouldn't have. Too big a diva. Tom Brady's the most coachable quarterback you will ever find.
I think I believe if Aaron Rodgers goes there, and Skip, once you become something, it's hard to change you from that. Tom Brady had no choice. Coach Belichick had his foot on his neck from day one. That's why everybody can't play for him. It's easier if you go there.
At some point, Tom Brady, after a couple of Super Bowls, could have said, you know what? I'm better than you are. I'm more valuable than you are. Nope, not built that way. Tom Brady is the flip side of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a showman. He wants to put on a Monday night show. Then he wants to create the postseason, the post-game narrative about, I found this kid Lazard and I made him my best friend, and I said, play him in the fourth quarter. And then I said, I'm going to throw it to him.
That ain't what he said.
Yes, he did.
He did say that, but not like you said. You embellished it.
Exactly.
You embellish it.
But that's what happens. Tom Brady would never do post-game narrative like
All
that.
I'm saying is, if Coach Belichick, if Aaron Rodgers was in New England and Coach Belichick and the system is in place as it is for Tom Brady, I believe Aaron Rodgers has more than one Super Bowl. You believe he has more than one Super Bowl.
No, I do not. And that's a complete hypothetical that it didn't happen. It's not happening. And Aaron Rodgers has coached his own football team because he wanted to. He does have a lot of Marino in him, and Marino basically coached the team. Even when Don Shula was coaching, Marino ran that football team.
And look at the defenses that he had.
Look at the running game he didn't have.
Exactly.
He wanted to throw it every time.
But he had no choice.
Okay.
Dan Marino had one 1,000-yard rusher.
Okay.
So what's he supposed to do with that?
Okay. So I give you Aaron Rodgers, coolest thrower of the football ever. And that got him where over time? Where did it get? It got you virtually nowhere. It got you one Super Bowl about 10 years ago.
So Skip, everybody's not going to be fortunate this time to have top 10 scoring defense year after year after year, to have the same coach year after year after year after year, playing the same system year after year after year after year.
Tom Brady, 6 rings with 6 fourth-quarter game-winning drives? Are you kidding me? How do we even know what Aaron would do in those circumstances?
Skip, I'm not trying to debate that. I'm not trying to take that from Tom.
Well, how do you put him in the conversation? What's he have? What are his credentials? He's the coolest thrower of the football ever, so he's the GOAT. Really?
Skip, Booger didn't say he was the GOAT.
He said he belongs in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the conversation? It's over. It just ended.
No, it didn't.
Well, seriously.
No.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is better than John Elway was?
Nah, I ain't taking nobody. I'm not taking Brady. Brady ain't win me no rings. I get to talk about Brady. Okay. 7 got me rings.
Okay, 7 went to 5 Super Bowls,
yeah.
and he won a couple of them thanks to Terrell Davis.
I don't care who you think. I don't care. They can thank anybody.
Okay.
He got me some rings. He got me some jewelry.
Okay, he did.
Yes.
Okay, I got that, but that's 5-1.
Yeah.
So should Elway be in the GOAT conversation?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is like what's happening to your Hall of Fame. Now let's just let everybody.
No.
in.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. If you look at those teams, now, the teams that John took to the Super Bowls and they lost, Brady's not getting those teams to the Super Bowl. You saw those teams that he went up against. He had to go up against the Washington team and the Giants team and the 49ers. 49ers were loaded. Washington was loaded. The Giants were loaded. And he got that team, and he went on the road and did it, the drive.
I've seen Tom Brady pull things off.
He ain't put no drive.
The Legion of Boom.
He ain't go 98 yards.
Nobody can mess with the Legion of Boom until Tom Brady threw for 124 in the fourth
That's
quarter.
a neutral site. John Elway did the drive, 98 yard, no timeouts.
Yep.
And sub-zero temperature. You know what the dog pound was like.
Yep, okay. So put him in the GOAT conversation. I'm good with that. Do you know what Roger Staubach did for the Dallas Cowboys? He was sensational. He invented the Hail Mary.
I know. They coined that against Minnesota.
Okay, he did against your Vikings. That's way before your time.
But it had to be, what, 74, 75?
History.
75. Yeah. Outside.
Wasn't
it was
quite
like
around yet.
5 below 0. Yeah, Drew Pearson.
He shoved that man down.
He probably did.
Ain't no problem did, Skip. You know he shoved him.
Yeah, but it was the Hail Mary.
Oh, why did they call pass interference?
I don't know.
You guys have the most incredible memories.
They didn't even have pass interference.
Incredible memories. I don't even understand. You guys remember everything. It's fascinating.
Yes, they did. He shoved that man down, and you know it.
Will we?
No mercy.
The Cowboys and Eagles meet this Sunday in Dallas with first place in the NFC East on the line. They're both coming off, some rough losses, and Fox Bet set the line with the Cowboys as 3-point home favorite. So, Shannon, did they get this right?
Yep, you got it right. For the weeks out, Skip Bayless, guess what the line going to be? Probably be down to 1. Yep.
I hope you're right.
You do, don't hope. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Once they come to the realization that Amari's not going to play and your guy's not capable of winning without a number 1. Because
so you think Amari's not going to play with a thigh bruise?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Even if he does, he's not going to be effective because, you remember you said he was hobbled by that ankle in New Orleans. He's hobbled. Skip, look, I just think the Eagles are a better football team than your team. Now, defensively, the back end leaves a lot to be desired, but I think it goes hand in hand with pass rush. Pass rush needs to get there. The secondary doesn't have to hold up as long. Sometimes the secondary needs to hold on a little longer to give the defensive line an opportunity to get there. So that goes hand in hand. And I believe they're prime. They're prime. Your tackles won't be there. So
you sure about that?
Even if they are, it doesn't matter.
Jerry said they could have played at the Jets.
Why
it
didn't?
Sounded like they just held them out because they didn't take the Jets that seriously. That's what it sounded like to me.
And your guy couldn't do it because he's like, okay, we got a quarterback that wants $35 million, so I know he can win this game by himself.
So
we don't
are
need all
you
these.
wishing and hoping that my Stars can't play? Is that all you got?
The Eagles have won big games on the road.
Okay.
They went to the biggest game. They beat Green Bay, who smashed you guys.
Smashed it, went down to an onside.
Stop it, Skip. Stop it. The game was long over. 31-3, the game was over.
My guy threw for 463 yards against Green Bay.
And what did he skip?
463.
And you know what? And was popping bottles in my restaurant, eating hot ales all night, Jenny.
My guy threw for 326 in the second half against the Green Bay Packers you saw last night.
And where did he come?
You probably gave him a special room.
The guy got the Cowboys
Private
special.
room?
Yeah.
Skip, look. I know you want your Cowboys to win, and you figure they're going to take off, and it was the Eagles last year that ignited your Cowboys, and they took off. And you're thinking that's going to happen again. But you know what? You're going to come in here, and you're going to be upset again with me on Monday, and you're going to be mad at me again because you're going to fall. You're going to be 0-4 in the last 4 games, and you're going to be 3-4, and the Eagles are going to look at you in the rear view.
And you have guaranteed it. And I want to note, for the sake of the Dallas Cowboys, that the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe just accused Amari Cooper of being soft and not playing hurt. That's what you just said. He won't play hurt, right? You said he had a foot thing.
Yeah, he did have
plantar fasciitis. Then he had an ankle.
I told you, I said, Skip, he's fine. You're like, when's the last time you ain't got an MRI for nothing?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, the man.
And you saw him. He couldn't even come out of his brakes.
Oh, so
New Orleans.
So now he has.
Tried.
So now he has a foot and a thigh.
Yeah. He's got all things going. He's got an ankle. He's got plantar fasciitis underneath his foot, and he's got a thigh bruise.
Okay.
Okay. And I think he'll play, but I don't know that. Now, back to my reaction to this. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this point spread because I guessed it would be pick'em. I thought they wouldn't give Dallas the 3 for home field, and they would basically say that Philly's 3 points better than Dallas. I was disappointed it wasn't pick'em because, again, my team needs external motivation because it's not going to get it internally from its head coach.
What about your quarterback?
Yeah.
He's the leader that you
said. I think it's my turn.
Okay, my bad.
Speak, right? I think I'm
My
speaking.
bad.
So the only thing I'm clinging to here is that Pro Football Focus has come out with its weekly rating of just teams. It's just grading, ranking teams. And the Cowboys are still the 4th best team in the NFL, says Pro Football Focus, and the Eagles are the 9th best team in Pro Football, says Focus, okay? Now, what does that mean on Sunday night? Absolutely zero.
Okay, why you bring it up?
Okay, I bring it up because this is how good my team can be when it plays up to its potential. And once it started playing up to it last year, you just ate fried crow every Monday after Monday after Monday, and you just kept losing cases of Diet Dew until I had a whole swimming pool full of it. And it's possible this team is even a little better than last year's. It just hasn't played like it. So what have we seen in the big picture so far? I give you this. The Eagles have one quality win at Green Bay. And my team beat 3 teams that are 3-13. So I can't sell that at all.
Okay.
That mattered none.
And I ain't buying if you were selling.
So my team narrowly lost at New Orleans 12-10. That team's 5-1 right now. And then my team came within an onside kick late of coming back from 31-3 down to a Green Bay that is now 5-1.
Okay.
And my team came within a 2-point conversion of tying and going to overtime with the Jets team at the Jets.
And that team is what?
21-3.
And that team is what?
That team had not won a game.
Uh-huh.
So I'll give you that the Eagles have been slightly more impressive, but we have not been blown out the way you got blown out by Kirk Cousins.
Y'all ain't
that was an eyesore. That was ugly. I watched the whole thing, and I watched Kirk Cousins destroy the Eagles secondary. And the Eagles secondary, do you realize, let's just do points allowed. Do you realize Philly is 23rd in points allowed?
I do.
And do you realize they benefited from, it got skewed a little bit because they got to play Luke Falk of the Jets at home, and they held him to 128 total yards and 6 points, and they're still 23rd in points allowed? What does that tell you, Mr. Sharpe?
Let me tell you how bad your Cowboys are.
Wait, you're not reacting to, I just showed you.
Skip, look.
Wait, my defense is 8th in points allowed.
Okay.
8th? And yours is 23rd? Wow.
Okay. 23rd. Well, Skip.
Huh.
Look who you played.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, look who you got to play. You got Luke Falk. We got the return of Sam Darnold.
And when you play good teams, what do you do?
Okay.
What's Minnesota's record?
They're pretty good.
Okay, then.
Yeah. They've had a couple of bad games.
You played the Saints. Caught the L. You played the Packers.
10.
Caught the L.
Came from 31
played the
down,
Jets.
almost got them.
You played 2 really good teams with winning records. You caught the L real bad.
Okay.
You played a team that was winless. You caught the L. You beat up on some teams. How many wins Miami got? What about Washington? What about the Giants? That's who you beat.
The Eagles are 29th in passing yards allowed. There are 32 teams, so that's 3rd from the bottom. You like that? You're guaranteeing that's going to hold up?
Hold up. What did Sam Darnold just do to yours? 338. 338 and a 92-yard on his resume.
Last seen against my Cowboys, guess what my quarterback was doing to the Eagles secondary last year when they had a healthy Jalen Mills, who I think might come back this week? What happened in the 4th quarter and overtime of that game? Help me out. My quarterback threw for 243 yards just in the 4th quarter and overtime against this secondary.
And why do you need all those yards? Because he threw 3 picks and kept them in the game. The game should have been over, Jenny.
4th quarter and overtime, he threw 3 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Is that good?
Skip.
I mean, that's just...
Skip, let me tell you how bad...
That's off the charts.
Skip,
good.
let me tell you how bad your Cowboys were on Sunday. And Steve and I, we stayed up late trying to find this.
You did?
Yeah.
The Cowboys, since 1991, they're the first team to lose a game in which they won the time of possession, the turnover battle, had more yards, had 25 first downs or more, and 10 or more third down conversions.
ancient history.
90 teams.
Good stuff.
They're 90, so they're 90-1. Guess who the long loss is, Skip?
Unbelievable.
With Dak Prescott. Hold on.
You know what? I am horrified by that.
Hold on. Skip,
In fact, you know what? I think my team should forfeit today.
Hold on. I'm trying.
Wait, it's over.
Hold on.
Call it off.
Skip, hold on just a second.
We concede.
I'm trying to figure out how can a team since 1991. Now, mind you, my first year was 1990. So that was like a year after I got into the league. 1991. That's what they're going back to, Skip, baby.
Okay.
How can a team to have all that with 3 turnovers, you got 3. With Dak Prescott as your quarterback, not win the game?
Boy, I don't know.
I know, because he ain't that guy.
You know, I don't trust my defense, but I really don't trust your defense.
Nah,
I really don't trust
hold on.
yours.
Hold on. Your defense is ranked 8th. You just told me your defense is
8th
good.
in points allowed.
Okay.
9th in yards allowed.
Where's your offense?
Offense is pretty good. It's 2nd in yards for the whole year. It's 2nd in the whole NFL. It's 10th in points scored. Not bad.
Hold on.
Okay. So I'm talking about a top 10 defense, top 10 offense, but I'm still 3-3.
Your defense, because your offense.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything in the first half.
Okay.
You realize in the last 3
defense
games
doesn't show up.
Skip, in the first half of the last 3 games, your offense is giving you 9 points.
Okay. Here's what I am truly concerned about. My team is tied for 26th in takeaways. We do not take the ball away.
But you give it away.
Okay, but we'll stop you on 3rd down because we're 2nd in the whole league on allowing 3rd down conversions. So that's pretty great, right?
What about your
we don't
turnovers?
take the ball away.
What about your turnovers?
Well, they're not terrible. We're -3, so we're -3 in turnover takeaway.
Yeah, so you're giving it away more.
Yeah, Philly is +1, which is not great.
Yeah,
It's
better
a little
than you
better
guys.
than this. Yep.
Yeah.
So it could be a turnover game, and if it is, you guys will probably win.
In which way we're going to win the game.
So
Now.
my quarterback still leads all of football in QBR at 83, and your guy's pretty good. He's 5th at 71. Okay. So
Skip, hold on.
1 to 5.
Skip.
So I got that going.
Your guy leads the league in QBR.
Yeah.
And you have the exact same record. So what does that say? QBR doesn't necessarily equate to wins.
Nope.
Because Tom Brady is 10th, and his team is undefeated.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to use your argument against you. My quarterback has not had a defense all year. My defense doesn't show up for kickoff. It might show up in the 3rd quarter or maybe the 4th, but it doesn't show up for kickoff.
That's not what you said.
Yeah.
When you came in here the first day and you banged on the table.
Yep.
When you beat the Giants.
Yep.
Okay. When you came in here and you banged on the table, you beat Washington.
Yep. Yeah.
When you came in here and you banged on the table, you beat Miami. What about that D?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't raving about them because they weren't very good. I kept telling you, it's all about.
Okay. What about New Orleans? When they held New Orleans to 12 points.
Yeah.
Where was Dak then?
Teddy Bridgewater's first start.
No. I ain't talking about Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah. I thought the defense played pretty well in that game.
Okay. What about your offense?
Yeah.
All you got was hold on with a healthy Amari, with Zeke, offensive line, because everybody was there. Lyle Collins was there, Tyron Smith was there, Dak Prescott, your quarterback, was there. And you only got 10 points with that offense.
See what Sean Payton said about the game the Saints played last Sunday? Did you see what he said about that they played Jacksonville?
Yeah.
And he said, we could have played 8 more quarters, and I don't think they would have scored.
Oh.
That's how good the Saints' defense is.
Whoa.
Especially at home. I don't think there's a better defense at home than the Saints' defense in that building.
Whoa, Skip.
Okay?
Skip. I'm not talking.
Any shame in losing 12-10?
Gardner Minshew or Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Because that's what you just said. That's what you just said.
He's been lighting it up.
Gardner's been fun to watch.
Zeke Elliott or Leonard Fournette.
Leonard Fournette's really been lighting it up. Thank you for saying that, because he's been better than Zeke.
Too.
He has been better than Zeke. I'm not sure about Zeke.
How frustrated are you?
So you are
I'm hoping this is his rebirth this week, because 10 times he was handed the ball at the Jets, and they went for 1 yard or less, because a bunch of them were zeros and a bunch of them were minus. That's 10 times where I sat back in my chair. I'm down in the flats. You're up there way up in the top in the hills
Whatever.
in Bel Air. And down in the flats, I said, what are we doing? How many times are we going to give it to him and go nowhere?
Yeah.
Nowhere. You're clapping. You say, give it to him again. You're the guy who says, Zeke drives this train. They're going to go as far as Zeke carries them. And I'm like, what?
Well,
I don't hand it to him again. Let Dak throw it.
Well, actually, I wasn't home. I was in the box. I was in the owner's box on Sunday.
You were there.
And everybody was asking because the game was obviously game on the
You had
field.
it on?
But I had something. I was I was like, I was like, yeah. It's like, Shannon. I mean, what are you cheering for?
Yeah.
The Jets just scored a tub.
Really?
I think you might have been cheering a little hard.
Yeah.
I did.
So it sounded like you were actually cheering maybe for the opposition at Mile High, right?
That's what they thought. I said,
Yeah.
no, just
No.
Jets.
Jets. So you take this really deadly
Doesn't
seriously.
miss anything.
No, Skip, because this is about you.
Huh.
You put me here, Skip. You made me like this. You think I want to be like this? You think I want to be that person? And you think I want to be this ugly, hardened person? No. But you created this.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, you
Didn't Jerry,
created it.
he used to send you holiday gifts
He
and everything,
did.
and now no more.
And you the reason I don't get any more ornaments.
That's so
I don't get
sad.
any cards. I don't
You
get
did that, Skip.
I used to get ornaments as big as this fan right here. That's what I used to get.
From Jerry Jones.
Yes.
And
Yep.
now you don't get anything,
I
right?
get nothing
Now
since
you
I started fooling with
You
you.
get
You
coal
are the
from
world's
Jerry.
biggest cowboy hater. No, I've never experienced anything like your cowboy hate.
No, you.
Or your Brady hate. It's close. They
No.
rival each other.
No, I don't hate Brady.
Yeah.
I hate the way you talk about Brady and like he can do no wrong. Even when he does wrong, you blame someone else. If you didn't do that, I can wrap my arms around him. But he throws a pick, it's the guy's fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's Coach Belichick's fault because his defense had given up a touchdown in the first quarter. Stop. But the Cowboys is all you.
Okay, I just want the Cowboys, and they do watch this show, to know they have been called out by the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe.
Dougie Pete did that.
Who said, no, you're echoing.
Yeah.
You have guaranteed that Philly will go to Dallas and put foots in the Dallas Cowboys. And you virtually guaranteed that Amari is soft and won't play, and that my two star tackles won't play.
I said Amari's hurt. He got an ankle. He has a foot, ankle, and a quad.
Yeah.
So he probably not going to play.
Okay, good. A guarantee from the Hall of Famer, and basically called him soft.
Well, you know what? At least Jason Garrett is excited for the challenge. We got that going for you as well. I'm already looking forward to next Monday. Is that weird? I cannot wait.
No mercy.
On a short week, Broncos head coach Vic Fangio has already begun to turn the page to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. And yesterday, Fangio paid Mahomes the ultimate compliment, comparing him to his Hall of Fame boss, saying, quote, "I think he's like John Elway was in the 80s and 90s. Shannon, is this a valid comparison?
Yeah, I think when you look at the arm talent, Skip, and the baseball background, I think that's the biggest thing is that both of these guys can throw the ball over 60 yards. John could throw the ball anywhere on the field. They had a lot of roll right, throw back left, and John was throwing the ball 55, 60 yards. They don't have a lot of that in Mahomes' playbook, but he could do that if he wanted to. John can throw the ball well from the pocket. John can move, the athleticism. So, yeah, a little Brett Favre-ish also, Skip, because he would try things. Now, John wouldn't try all the things that Patrick Mahomes would try.
Nope.
He definitely wouldn't try that. I think when it comes to, like, the trying the things with throwing the ball and all that other stuff, I think he's more Brett Favre. But as far as just, like, throwing the ball, athleticism, baseball background, I can see where Coach Fangio would say, okay, yeah, he does remind you a little bit of John. And I think the thing is, later in John didn't run as much late in his career as he did early, like Skip in the 80s and early 90s. But John can motor. John can move really well. He was very, very, very mobile, very athletic. He didn't run quite as much later because we didn't need him to. We had a great running game. He had guys he can get the ball, put the ball in their hands, and we can make plays for him. But I can see the why Coach Fangio would say that.
It has come to this for the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe, former Denver Bronco, that he embraces the comparison of Patrick Mahomes to John Elway, the quarterback he played with and won 2 rings with.
I did.
And yet his love for Mahomeboy, as he calls Patrick Mahomes, who just lost 2 straight games at home, so I'm not sure he's homeboy anymore. My road boy?
Well,
I don't know.
we tried to make it 3 in a row.
I don't know. So, to me, this was such blasphemy, except it's actually brilliant blasphemy from Vic Fangio on Kansas City week in Denver. They play Thursday night.
Yeah.
Smart.
Kansas City is a 3-point favorite on the road at Denver. And so why not just heap more unfair pressure and expectation on the kid as he comes to the house of, it's John Elway's house. I don't care what you say. It's still his house, right?
It is.
And he still runs.
He does.
Not only the organization, but he runs the town, right?
Yep.
He's got car dealerships. He's got.
I don't think he has any more car dealerships, but he got restaurants. A bunch
He's
of
got
them.
restaurants. So the point is, I thought it was beautiful. It was really smart to make this comparison because, look, in the biggest picture, Patrick Mahomes has won one playoff game in his life.
Right.
John went 14-7 in the postseason.
Right.
It's pretty great.
Right.
And he got to 5 Super Bowls, and he won 2 with you.
Right.
Lost his first 3, but you can argue he was just overmatched. Right. He didn't have a deal.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes has only been in the league 2 years.
Okay. So don't you think it's almost like sacrilegious to even go there yet?
Skip, I'm not saying he's going to have the careers, John. I mean, he's off to a blazing start. I mean, to win the MVP in his first full year as a starter, that speaks to something. It would have been very interesting. I'd like to see these guys have a throw-off contest if John was in his prime to see who could actually throw the ball the farthest. I don't know, Skip. I think John could probably throw the ball harder. I don't think people realize how hard John Elway could throw the ball.
I remember all the stories about splitting the
webbing in the fingers, yeah.
Like,
oh, he definitely would rip. He definitely, I mean, I would go through 2-3 pair of gloves a week because he would just split them.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you ever bleed between your...
No, I mean, he say here, you know, hey, I made my living with these things here.
Well, some of the little diva wideouts, they were all talking about they would bleed.
Yeah.
He would split the webbing.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, he would throw it, and you catch it with your chest, you could hear it. It sounded like somebody hitting the drum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he could throw it.
Feel it.
And especially in warm-ups, because his adrenaline is pumping.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm like,
Wow.
He get going.
I saw John Elway in his first 3 years. He was a better runner than Patrick.
Oh, yeah, no question. No question.
He was an athlete.
No
He was
question.
A stud
No
athlete.
question. No question.
Could have been a baseball star.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Patrick could have been a baseball star, but he could have been pretty good.
Yeah.
But John Elway was.
Yeah, John was a right fielder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know, you got to have a tremendous arm to play that.
Could have been a New York Yankee.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. He threatened that. That's why I think Cush was the owner of the at the time. No, it was in Baltimore, Skip. It was the owner. The owner, his dad.
The Orioles?
No. The Colts owner.
You're saying?
Ursa, yeah, he threatened like, nah.
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't fooling. I'm not fooling. Kush was the coach.
Oh,
He's
Kush
like,
was the coach. Okay, I got it.
Ursa Senior.
Okay,
Ursa Senior. He's like, nah, I'm not going. I'm done with you guys. I'm not going. So they ended up moving him to Denver.
We do need to get you on record right here, right now. On Thursday night, you are going to root for my homeboy or my Broncos.
Skip, stop. The Broncos.
That's what I
root
thought
for the
you were gonna
Broncos?
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier
I don't
you made a
believe
little
that.
side
Yeah.
Because your pride is on the line.
My pride ain't on the line. Pride ain't on the line.
You lost
Homeboy.
it's,
I don't care.
It's the team you picked to win the Super Bowl.
They can win. They can lose.
Seriously?
You're not rooting for the Broncos. You're saying the right thing, but you're not thinking.
Skip, I just came from the Broncos.
Yeah.
They treat me really, really well.
Okay, yeah.
You were just with them.
Yes.
You were just
Yes.
with them. Okay.
They treat me really well.
Yeah, you had a great ovation when you
Got them
spoke
hyped.
to the crowd.
They didn't let me come to Dallas and get them hype. I get them hype.
Maybe that's what we should
For a
be
nominal
doing.
fee, Jay.
Someone else could hype or motivate, if you will.
No mercy.
The Browns have gotten off to a disappointing start, falling to 2-4 after Sunday's loss to the Seahawks. Browns receiver Jarvis Landry hinted that team chemistry is still an issue for Cleveland, saying, quote, talent wins games, teams win championships, and that the Browns have to find ways to play together. So, Shannon, what do you make of this?
Skip, you notice chemistry never comes up as an issue when teams are winning.
Yeah.
Only when you start to lose. And Skip, it's almost like, you remember when Vince Young went to the Eagles and he said dream team.
He did.
And they ended up being 8-8.
Yeah.
And this is what everybody thought. Oh, man, Odell Beckham, Jarvis in his second year. I mean, not Jarvis. Baker Mayfield in his second year. We got Chubb and Jarvis and Njoku and Olivier Vernon. We got Greedy Williams and Warrior. Oh, what are they going to do? You still got to play. You got to make sacrifices. And the mistake that the head coach made, Freddie Kitchens, Freddie K, is that I'm going to keep everybody happy. Skip, you can't keep everybody happy. Sacrifices must be made. If you're trying to get to your ultimate destination, your ultimate goal, sacrifices must be made. And nobody's willing to make sacrifices.
So last week, Jarvis Landry campaigned all week for Baker and Freddie K to, quote unquote, deliberately get the ball to Odell.
I didn't mean that, though. I was just saying it.
Okay, well, they deliberately, they got him 11 targets and 6 catches for 101. That's Odell. Meanwhile, Jarvis got 5 targets and 3 catches for only 36 yards. And all of a sudden he's saying, chemistry.
Yeah.
We don't have chemistry. It's virtually impossible to keep 2-star wide receivers happy. It's virtually impossible, and they're trying to pull it off and failing. They are 2-4 now.
Especially when both guys believe that they're a number one.
Yeah.
As long as one guy is comfortable believing that he's a 2,
correct,
you can make it work, Skip. But as soon as the guy thinks I'm on that level, it ain't happening.
I wonder how their friendships affected too. That is it for us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.